Deposit is refundable, I assume. Deposit is refundable, I assume. Okay, so the meeting is being recorded and is being broadcast on live on YouTube. Mr. Pullen and Mr. Nolan, if you can remind me when we go into executive session that we need to remove people from the room and stop the recording and the live stream.
And you will let us know when that's happening?
Yes.
Okay.
I just need you to remind me that we're broadcasting.
So Evan informs me rotation may have changed on some of those. I'm hoping it's to my benefit because I have more than 4.
I was actually wrong on that. They didn't check their
Oh,
word.
never mind. Yeah, because Dave District has a number of state senate seats, and only one of them is not up this year. So very disproportionate in other words.
Well, your guys are gonna have my whole county, like.
The state party's map,
Mhm.
the maps we did, yeah, our maps were amazing.
Yeah, I was the first one with things, so.
You know, it was a lot of work. I put a lot of effort in it.
Delegating is hard.
I didn't even delegate. I mean, I delegated it to Jeff Orr, and then that was it. And I mean, even when they came to me when Jeff was gone, and they were like, "Hey, Evan, what do you?" I was like, "I don't care. I'll publish it. You tell me. I don't care."
Let's see.
Cassie, can you hand me another copy of today's agenda?
No, county lines aren't super clear here, but they might have actually gotten Middleburg in only 2 states in
So there's
district.
a clean one. This was for the notes.
We have 4 state houses right in one county.
Yeah. I've gotten used to the luxury of my county only being in one district.
What's your population?
So these maps line up. Last I checked it was over.
No,
20,000.
they're not, but they basically are.
45,000.
The Senate has basically, the Senate Republicans said they're not gonna make any changes at all. The House Republicans made minor changes, but not anything that, nothing substantial. It was basically a couple of townships they split, they ended up making them whole, or they split them in a different way.
For the congressional?
Up in Kosciuszko, for Kurt Knisley's district, that's now Knisley and Snow in the same district. There was one section by the lake that was not included in that district, and they changed it, included those like 6 houses into the district. But it doesn't change anything. I mean, it doesn't change the numbers, it
Yeah.
doesn't, you know. So they did some things, but
Minor.
so that they could say they did some things, essentially.
So typical partisan.
Yes, 100%. We'll talk more about that, but I had somebody call me yesterday and said the exact same thing that you said,
Which is?
that they heard from a Democrat, and they were talking about a really nice libertarian speaker. And they asked, you know, if it was just like you said, was it at the state house, was it about redistricting? And they're like, yeah, and I'm like, no, it's the state chair.
Yeah, yeah,
So good PR,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah.
big
Congrats.
time, big time.
Just get your colleagues.
Well, if I had a body, man,
Have you to the state house?
Uber, and it was last minute. I didn't know the meeting was happening. Literally, I was looking for stuff for our finalized maps. And I saw that the meeting was happening. It was 10:30. It started at 10. I was still in my PJs and I was like, oh, let's put some stuff on and get an Uber. Go to the state house. Yeah. Because they didn't,
Is that how Uber works up here?
what?
Like, you could just be like, oh, I have somewhere to be soon. I can reliably wait for a Uber to get to my house.
Sometimes, it used to be less than 5 minutes, now it's 15 to 25,
Wow, city living speed.
but it's still better than a cab.
Or you try Lyft, see if that works.
It's the same in
We have
the-
one Uber in
pretty
my,
much, because it's mostly the
I
same
would probably have
drivers
more
now.
than that.
we have one.
I would hold my breath and wait for. Oh, I can get somewhere in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So we don't have a secretary, so if you guys, is there any objection to me calling the roll for votes? If there are any votes? Okay. We are recording the meeting, so that will be the meeting minutes for Alyssa to then go back and do that, but I will also be recording attendance and the roll call on votes and things like that, but she'll, for discussion purposes and things like that, she'll be able to go to the recording to do that. Mr. Rigg,
Yes.
would you be okay with me appointing the timekeeper?
I'd be fine with that.
Okay, we're gonna get to that in a minute when we actually come to order, but I like to have it set up ahead of time. Calm down, Pete. Even though it's unofficial right now, looking at the agenda, is there anything that anybody objects to or would like to add before we come to order? So that we know ahead of time.
I would like to add candidates of the future. We've been invited by Ball State, basically actually the Bowen Center, to speak on some panels for training young people that are interested in politics. And in the past, I've been able to do this by myself, but they want a full panel of people, and I need some help if we're wanting to participate.
When in the agenda, I mean, obviously a new business, but when in the agenda would you like to add it and how much time do you need?
The time for the event is November 13th.
No. When in the agenda do you want to talk about it?
I am at your, whenever you'd like, Brother Chairman.
Why don't we do it first thing in new business?
Okay.
And it's called Future Candidates.
Yes, that's the name of the,
Candidates of the future.
Candidates of the future.
Sounds kind of a little late, so, yeah.
Do you want like 5 minutes for that, Mr. Nolan?
it may, being an industrial engineer, it may take 10.
Okay, we'll do 10 minutes.
But we'll be looking for volunteers
Okay.
and the
Is there
expo.
any other additions? Did you have another county other than Owen?
Not at this time.
Okay.
Perhaps.
Any other additions to the agenda? No? Any other additions to the agenda from the peanut gallery? Okay, seeing none. I'm going to call this meeting to order. My name is Evan McMahon. I'm the state chair of Libertarian Party of Indiana. This is the state central committee meeting for September 25th. It is 10:51 and we are called to order. Our secretary is not here, so I am going to call the roll on her instead of her. The chair, I am here. Melissa Salgado, the secretary, is not here. Michael Schulteis, treasurer.
Present.
Lucy Brenton, vice chair.
Present.
Jared Hall, political director. Morgan Rigg, field director.
Present.
Rosalind Cowell, student director. Present, give you an X, Morgan, I'm sorry. Charles Hagerman, IT director.
Present.
Chuck Poland, District 1.
Good morning from District 1.
Elizabeth Cocolar, District 2.
Present.
Christy Avery, District 3.
Here.
Dennis Beatty, District 4. Greg Nolan, District 5.
The fighting fifth is here.
Luke Lomax, District 6. He will probably be here. He's got a thing right now, so we'll come back to him should he show up. Kent Williams, District 7 here. Jay Solomon, District 8. Greg Hirsch, District 9. Adoption of the agenda. The agenda is in front of you. There was an amendment to it as presented, adding 10 minutes for discussion on candidates of the future by Mr. Greg Nolan as the #1 item in new business. Is there any objection to the agenda as presented? Hearing none, the agenda is adopted. Appointment of timekeeper. Mr. Rigg, would you be the timekeeper?
I will.
Okay. Officer reports, starting with me, the chair, for 10 minutes. So we've had an incredible month this month. One of the press releases that went out this month is in front of you on the Biden vaccine mandate. We had a lot of successful work with the redistricting, which was spearheaded by Jeff Moore, and the legwork and data work was done by Mr. Hagerman, Mr. Adam Newmeyer, and Ken Fitzlaff originally was part of that project as well, and did a lot of work on it, which culminated in me being able to go testify at the State House hearing last Thursday, and from all accounts, it was a pretty good testimony. Lots of people were happy to hear what we had to say as libertarians on the subject of redistricting. We've had some interesting projects this month. We used some of the marketing budget that we had for the monthly marketing, and Clodhopper, to engage in some digital mobile ads that do what's called polygonal geofencing, which is if you visit a certain place that we set a digital boundary around, you can be served a specific mobile ad. So we've been targeting head shops, gun stores, and areas of interest in community because of color. Head shop, where you go and buy things that are specifically for tobacco use only.
I am square.
From that, we've grown our subscriber list by over 5,000 people.
Oh, nice.
From those issues. We've received an additional, it's a low number, but it's 24 new members, which is still pretty good considering we've never done that before. So I think that's a pretty good turnout. Jeff Moore announced his campaign for Secretary of State. It's unofficial right now, but John Schick is officially seeking the nomination for Auditor of Indiana.
Sam.
Welcome to the Libertarian Party of Indiana.
That's his only speech.
Was that a second? I wasn't sure.
That was a second. That was a second from Sam. He was very happy about Jeff Moore's nomination.
I didn't catch the dog's name for the record.
Sam.
That was Pete.
Sam second. Okay, thank you.
So Lucy is here in person now, our vice chair. So we've also had a lot of us have been going to medical freedom rallies. There are other events about property rights that are coming up that Elizabeth will be talking about. We've had a lot of interest from candidates. We've been crushing it the past couple of months. We've been doing a pretty good job of building up our infrastructure. We have 2 new county parties that we're going to be voting on affiliating today. We have more counties in the works. We have some counties that officially weren't disaffiliated, but were inactive that are now working with me to hold special conventions to get new leadership so that they can become reactivated. Affiliated and then reaffiliating. We're doing special conventions to help them get new leadership going. So that's, what we've been doing. It's been a lot of work. It's been pretty busy. Luke is here from the 6th District.
He made it.
Yay.
Luckily for you guys, this is 10 minutes from my house.
I know you enjoy that.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't mind it at all.
Any questions for the chair on the chair's report? Mr. Nolan? You're muted, Mr. Nolan.
What were the name of the candidates again? I didn't hear it over the dog and commotion.
Jeff Moore for Secretary of State and John Schick for Auditor. SCHICK, yeah.
I know.
John Schick ran actually for the same
Yeah.
office the last election cycle. He was he was treasurer of the state party for how long? Mr. Nolan, do you remember?
No, as I came in.
Yeah. It was John Schick, then Dale Weedle, and then Michael Schulteis. Or not Dale. Weedle.
The secretary, I believe.
Was it secretary?
I believe he was secretary a while ago.
He was an officer. Okay. But so he's gonna run again. And he's already expressed that to me. He's already doing the stuff that he needs to. He hasn't made an official announcement yet. I made it to run. Any other questions for the chair?
What is-
report?
What is he running for, Jeff?
Secretary of State. Luke, if you want to get, we'll see if you guys want to get your packets of paperwork.
There's, they're right there, we'll get it.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I had a question, and perhaps this was covered by Head Shop. I
Yes.
apologize for my square understanding of the
It's okay, Narc.
With the recent FDA decisions surrounding e-cigarettes, a lot of members of my district and in my own personal thoughts have led me to believe that that could be a powerful relationship. Is that something that we should be considering as a state party, making statements about, or?
So we have a national party flank on vaping. Indiana was the state that actually spurred that for the national party.
Who might have been behind that?
I have no idea. It's been continuing. I will say, because of my knowledge of the vape industry and full disclosure, I'm the president of the trade association for the state of Indiana. All we kind of can do right now is give our condolences because there's nothing left to do. It's
I'm in the debate of rallying support.
we can show support, but it doesn't, there's.
Rallying for support
Right, well, I mean,
because of our support.
right. We can go out and say, we've been on this issue since 2014. We've been standing with the vaping industry and consumers who demand choice since 2014. The Trump administration, the Biden administration, and the Obama administration killed that choice for people who are trying to make a healthier switch from cigarettes. Sadly, the only recourse now is for the companies that were just en masse destroyed overnight on September 9th. Their only recourse is, as individual companies, is to sue the FDA. The likelihood of those lawsuits is also very slim. The FDA essentially handed this industry over to big tobacco because the only products that are pending for approval are the products made by big tobacco. So we, like I said, we can give our condolences and we can show that we've been there with them. But as far as like what we can do to help, I'm at a loss. And it's actually what I've been saying to the trade association is.
Well, didn't the supermajority GOP just like raise the tax on?
Yes,
So that is something on a state level that we
doesn't matter
can
because
point
the
out.
products are gonna be gone.
Oh,
The tax doesn't matter, that goes in effect in July because there won't be an industry in July.
I spoke with the owner of Happy Dragon over here off of Washington Street. And he said that his business has not been affected at all because his company does not make their own vape juice.
It doesn't matter.
He said he's paying the fines because they're a head
There's no-
shop also.
There's no fine.
It's not a fine.
It's you go to jail.
Oh,
They'll get a warning letter, they'll get 2 warning letters as the manufacturer. The manufacturer gets 2 warning letters, then they get a monetary fine, then they go to jail. And the monetary fine is actually like $250 and it's a one-time deal.
Yeah.
Retailers who are selling contraband product in Indiana, when you fill out that form to get your tobacco license,
1 minute warning.
it's a felony to sell contraband. And ATC has already said that they're working with the FDA to figure out exactly which is contraband because they have to be specific. They can't just walk into your store and say, we know all of this e-liquid is illegal. They have to be able to point to it and they have to point to the list of the FDA and say, this is contraband. That's one of the issues. Or it's not on the list of companies that applied, in which case it's contraband. But within the next 3 to 4 months, they'll have it all worked out and businesses are going to shut down. There's things that they can do, but it's,
but the FDA is not approving anything, so.
no, there's things that people can do, but that's another topic for another time.
Yeah.
Well, what I was getting at is, this is something that's kind of on the fringes of public perception. Probably not something that people are, reading on the front page news. So to the extent that our candidates can get coverage, championing this as a policy issue could be an incentive for those types of industries.
I think all of our federal candidates should definitely have a plank in there that says that they would rein in the overreach of the FDA, including the Federal Tobacco Prevention Act. However, that's about all you can do. Okay.
We're out of time.
Thank you, sir. The secretary is not here. Mr. Schulteis, are you prepared to give your report?
Sure. As of September 24th, across all of our accounts, we have a available balance of $57,694.25. We do have accounts payable of $2,202.94. That accounts payable does not include some of the other pre-authorized expenses. I believe we have $1,200 for the calendar year 2021 for the data analytics software. I believe there's also some other pre-approved expenses that are not accounted for there. So I would not spend up to the listed $55,234.25. Since there's only a few more months of the year, I doubt spend all of that, but we need to be aware that there is some stuff that's already been pre-approved, so we shouldn't spend up to the listed total equity that's on the report.
Mr. Schulteis, question. The 2,294, is that gasoline?
The vast majority of that, there's also $210 owed to Chris Spangle for a portion of his storage locker. But the vast majority of that is gasoline.
Okay, thank you, sir. Any questions for Mr. Schulteis? Actually, I do have another question. What districts have used their district funding this year?
I know Mr. Nolan of District 5 has requested accounting on his district. I need to provide that to him as soon as possible. I don't recall which other districts have used it, so I'll have to get back to you on that.
I know District 3 did. Did District 2 submit a formal request? Okay, that's all, Mr. Schulteis. Any other questions for Mr. Schulteis?
And Mr. Avery did request disbursement of her funds to the new counties in the district. There's one county that has never cashed a check. I believe they're the temporary chair or the actual chair is not currently available for certain reasons. So
I believe that was that Noble County?
Yes, so those funds may be available for Ms. Avery to
Okay,
spend at her leisure.
okay. Thank you, sir. Ms. Avery,
Any word on triple membership money?
we did do the final report, and so those checks will be going out as soon as possible. Mr. Nolan.
Yes, my request has become moot. The time period has passed. I went ahead and wrote the check myself, and Jonesboro, for the Jonesboro event, which is going on this weekend. So
Would you like a reimbursement for that, Mr. Nolan?
I'll be all right. But I don't need that now. I would like to know. I can't remember whether I have dipped into that fund yet or not for my other counties. So I would like an accounting when there's an opportunity.
Okay, apologies for the delay. I'll get that to you as soon as possible.
I don't remember you putting in a request for any other disbursements for that. Any other questions for Mr. Schultheis? Okay, no questions for, thank you, Mr. Schultheis. Your hand is still up, Mr. Nolan. It's down now. It's down now. Don't touch it. 5 minutes from our vice chair, Lucy Brenton.
Like all of you, have been focused on the medical freedom issues, advocating for those, going to meetings, and in general, trying to make sure that everybody sees that the libertarians are the ones and the only ones who are interested in protecting their bodily rights on both sides of the issue. So I'll continue to do that. We have a rally coming up on Tuesday in Indianapolis on the South State House lawn, in case anybody's interested in doing that. I've shared it to my Facebook. We'll be talking a lot about the convention. And so I'll just yield whatever time I have left because that's where I'll do most of the talking.
Okay. Reports from directors. I'm going to go ahead and do communications. We're sending out the press releases, member emails. That's been going really well. Every time, actually, when this one went out, we ended up having 2 people join as lifetime members.
Nice.
When the Biden vaccine letter went out. One of them was from somebody up in northern Indiana who hasn't been involved in the party hasn't been a donor to the party in 5 or 6 years. Saw it and said, this is exactly what the party should be doing. Thank you for having a voice. It wasn't even that he agreed with it or disagreed with it. He just liked that we're engaging and we're doing it in a professional manner. And so he became a lifetime member.
Where did they see it? If you want to ask them? Was it our email?
It was our email.
Okay, not
It
some
did,
other
yeah.
source.
Unfortunately, the Biden vaccine was the first time that we've sent out a press release that didn't get picked up by local papers.
At least one did.
Go.
One, only one that I saw. And then there was one that called us idiots.
Yeah.
And on that, I received a email back from somebody at one of the newspapers who basically in just one sentence said, you people are idiots. And Mr. Solomon reached out to that paper's management. And in that, the person actually quit their job. The manager of the paper apologized and said, reach out to us again. Please let us know if you have something else. So thank you, Mr. Solomon, for taking that on and reaching out to them. I would like to be able to get things that we can share statewide. So please do send me updates, things that are going to happen before they happen, and then things that have happened that I can promote. But please pre-send me things with enough notice. Any questions about communications? I know we're out of time. Mr. Schultheis has his hands up.
I had an accounting question about a lifetime or potential lifetime member. Do we know if Mr. Kelver from Northern Indiana gave a general donation or intended to be a lifetime member?
Well, it was a $500 donation and it was through the lifetime thing. Wasn't it?
The donation from Mr. Kelver came as a general donation, but it was the proper amount for lifetime.
Did it? That's weird.
There was someone else who became lifetime that went through the proper lifetime link.
It was because Calver is who I was referring to.
Okay.
And I thought that was a lifetime. I put it down in my records as a lifetime, but I may have just done it because I thought it was $500.
My report as well.
Okay.
But it came across as a general donation.
Well, if it came through as a general donation, then it's a $500 general donation unless he asked to be made lifetime. So thanks. Political director, Jared Hall's not here. I'm going to be working with Sam Goldstein and Jared. Sam has agreed to contact some of the people who have now been redistricted or been affected. Our plan is once these maps are finalized, because anything can change. So I do not recommend announcing your campaign until the maps are actually signed into law, because it's still real easy for you to be redistricted out. But once the maps are finalized, we're going to start having some candidates announcing their campaigns. There are a few districts that are going to be contested, which is amazing. I like to see contested. There are some people who are contesting that I wish would go away. But we're going to have a great turnout of candidates. We're going to have a very busy state convention. There's going to be a lot of candidates being nominated for legislative seats, congressional, statewide. I also do expect that there will be some countywide candidates in a couple of unaffiliated counties. Because there was at least 2 people who have expressed to me that they want to run for office and they don't feel they can do both, starting the county organization and running for office, but they are committed to running for office. I can't fault them for that. That's okay. So, but I told them you'll be unaffiliated. You'll have to be nominated at the state convention. Mr. Ritt, or any questions about political?
Do you know if Kickoff is going to run again?
Don't know.
You don't know? Okay. Because I spoke with him shortly about it and he was very non-committal. He's running the Randolph County Party and he's continuing that right now, but there's
a lot more that we'll talk about with the district maps later, as well as in the executive session on election matters. There's some stuff that we're going to talk about that's very political, but we'll yield to that time. Any other questions? Okay, seeing none. Mr. Rigg, you have 2 minutes for your field report.
All right, thanks. I've just got 2 items on my report. First, concerning volunteers. There have been no new volunteers who have signed up since our last meeting. I'm trying to keep in touch with our current volunteers. I'm also still looking for an additional volunteer to help out with live streaming for future in-person meetings. As of now, I know 1 person is interested, and that's Danny Lundy. If anyone else is interested, let me know. I'll also be asking around. Then the last item is Super Saturdays. I'm also still continuing to reach out to district reps and other organizers if there's any updates or anything like that. And so far I've reached out to those in districts 1, 2, and 5 so far.
Where is the October one?
Districts 1 and 5, both on the same day.
Okay, so Morgan, hang on a second. So I actually just sent you an update on that. They wanted to move that. I had that wrong. It's actually November the 13th.
That's the same as money.
So they wanted to, Porter County wanted to move it to November 13th because they have the city of Valparaiso has an event that day. So if that's going to cause an issue with another district's event, I can go back to them and talk about moving it to another time.
I can reach out and we can discuss that because mine's not set in stone either, but that was my plan, was November 13th. So
here's the thing, you guys are really, first and second are really close to each other.
Right.
You can split that up between the two of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
She'll just drop me off in the second
Exactly.
district and then she'll go to the
And-
first district.
Exactly.
District 6, well, at least Hancock County is looking to do their convention on the 20th of November.
Hancock.
Hancock.
Hancock, okay.
They're organizing
I
convention.
got it.
Yes,
Guys, I didn't see who also said they had
their special
That's
convention,
different.
yes.
I'm sorry, say that again?
got the event on the 13th. I didn't see who that was.
Second district,
Okay, second district's got an event on the 13th. Okay, gotcha.
but that's okay. We're gonna make that work. So you
Okay.
can still do November 13th. That's fine.
Okay.
That's actually probably better, honestly.
Mhm.
That way we're not going up there twice. Any other questions for Mr. Rick? Okay, hearing none, thank you, Mr. Rick. Mr. Hagerman, IT report.
So I've been continuing to keep the city updated from wild apricot donations. I created tasks, tasks for all the, everyone that's in wild apricot and got those all put into city. I was trained on use of Elementor and have now begun to edit the LPN.org page. And I've updated the county affiliates and the district representatives page as well as the leadership page. I worked to make city the source of truth for all county leadership and also synchronize that information across LPIN and the relationships in LPN.org. I found as I was going through Alpedia that there were actually pages for each one of our awards. So I created a new page for the Bill Bean County Affiliate of the Year Award, which is new, and of course hadn't been created yet. And while I was doing that, I went in and added a section, an award section for the people that exist in Alpedia and added the awards that they had won as a separate section for all the people that have pages.
Can you go in and the people who the awards are named after and tag that in their pages, like Barbara Borland, Steve Dosbach, Steve
I
Dillon?
think it might already be, but I can.
Okay,
And then there's already a preceded and a succeeded in the little insert template for all the past chairs, but I like the one at the footer at the bottom, one, because we have had people that have multiple chairs and you only have one spot in the template. And so I added the footers for all chairs.
Time.
And so you can then go see who preceded and who succeeded, and it's in there for all the chairs all the way back.
do you need a little bit more time? Actually, is there objection to extending the IT by 3 minutes?
Well, I was basically done.
I got questions for you.
Okay.
Questions?
Okay, no objection, time is extended for 3 minutes on this. Actually, I just want to first make a couple of points. If you have a photo of yourself that you would like to have added to the front page of the website, please send that to it@lpin.org. He will be the one responsible for doing that. Some of you don't have photos, some of you have photos that you don't like. Please send them to Chuck and he will take care of it for you.
Can we make me pretty in them?
No comment on that. We are going to be putting together a form for all candidates seeking the Libertarian nomination, whether it be on the county level, the district level, or the state level. Whatever you are running for, you will need to fill this form out so that we can put you on the website and track you. We will have a list of all of the candidates on there. We've worked out how to do that. It's tested, it works great. It can link directly to their donate pages, their social media pages, but it will also show we can put in what their vote totals are and how they do, which then is trackable in the district for how our candidates did. And makes it easier when our candidates do win to transition them to the page of elected libertarians, elected or appointed libertarians. So please make sure all of your county chairs are making sure that all of their candidates fill out this form.
So that data that you were talking about tracking, is that going to populate in city with the relevant political district boxes?
Yes.
Did you say the chair is in charge of filling out the form, or the candidates are
The candidates are the ones that should do it. It is the county chair's responsibility to make sure that they do it.
Okay.
And
It's not currently up, correct?
it is not currently up, and it will be tied into Civi, so the county chairs, once they get access, which hopefully will have that completed by the end of November, all chairs will have access and training on how to use Civi by the end of November. If they log in, they can see which candidates have completed the survey and which candidates have not. I'm going to move to Zoom. Ms. Avery, your hand up was up first.
I have a two-part question. I had sent a photo to Evan like years ago, not really, but do I need to resend that to Chuck now or?
Yes.
Okay. And then also, is there somewhere to find the dates of the SCC meetings from LPIN.org?
No.
Can there be?
Yes, it is in process.
Okay.
I've been trying to put some of the events on and I just literally last week got our event listing stuff fixed with National because it was not correctly. So we've got multiple questions still. So is there an objection for 3 more minutes? Seeing no objection, time is extended by another 3 minutes. Ms. Avery, was that the end of your question?
I had something else, but now I can't remember what it was.
I will say that I am reaching out to Ryan Day.
Okay.
About getting his training, his one-on-one training.
A month later.
Mr. Schulteis.
Point of clarification or whatever the term is, Mr. Hagerman's email is tech@lpin.org, not IT@lpin.org. I can make an alias for that later, but.
Wait, no, it's not. It's tech@lpin.org, right?
Yeah. So if you're sending anything to Chuck, use the tech.
There we go. Makes perfect.
Sorry about that, Chuck. Apparently your email's tech, not IT. There is a person in the galley. I can't see the name. Mr. Pullen, can you read the name of who's in the galley with their hand up?
Brett McDonald.
Brent McDonald.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I don't know who that is.
Vandenberg.
They're from Vandenberg County, according to Mr. Solomon. Is there any objection to recognizing this person for a question? Seeing no objection, Mr. McDonald, you are recognized for your question.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to make a comment for Mr. Hagerman that I am also a member on LPIN. So if there is anything that I can do to assist, then I would be more than happy to help so that we're not, so that I'm not editing or changing anything on there that he or the party does not want changed or edited.
If you can do me a favor and email your contact info to tech@lpin.org. That would be greatly appreciated. That way Mr. Hagerman can follow up with you.
Okay, thank you.
I will say that if you, and I actually had a fairly large national donor who for some reason spends his time looking at Elpedia and Wikipedia, has said that the Libertarian Party of Indiana has the most complete and accurate and interesting Elpedia entry and one of the only that has a Wikipedia page. So, and that's all Mr. Hagerman.
Thank you.
Nice job, John.
Awesome.
Any other questions for Mr. Hagerman?
Yeah, I had a couple.
Of course you do.
So the easy one, I was gonna bring up a couple of affiliated counties that had not yet been populated in the website. I think between me thinking about it and, can I get like 2 minutes?
Without objection, we're going to extend for 1 minute.
1 minute, okay. Looks like that was updated. Both Spencer and Owen are currently affiliating. So if you could update that, I would greatly appreciate it.
They should be listed on there as organizing.
They are still great.
Spencer and
Owen.
Yeah, and if you guys just want to send me emails for anything that needs to be updated,
yeah,
you know, Now, I will be on vacation for 2 weeks after this week, so, but otherwise, I generally get that stuff turned around rather quickly.
And then the other is a city question. I have noticed in the system that certain indicators that were in there 1 week will disappear the next week. Sometimes they'll reappear, sometimes they won't. Like the Jorgensen donor tab keeps flashing in and out, and then certain data from national, like he would tell me, oh, this person was a national pledge in 1998 or something crazy. And now I'm not
I'll
seeing
answer that real quickly for you. So it is an issue with national, and what they're trying to figure out is what data to allow access to and what not. I've complained about too much data. That's that when they populate what the donor history is, it commingles with our history.
Okay.
And we don't want that. We want to be able to easily see what your history of donating with us is, and if they can't figure out a way to separate the two of them, then I'd rather not see what somebody's donated national to national, because it commingles with ours and it screws up your average for us.
Okay, I just have entries in Civi that I click on and it's like, yeah, they registered as a Republican in 1988, and that's all I have on them. I'm like, cool, why are they in front of me right now?
Some of that's just.
And national was answering that question for a lot of them, and now I'm back in the dark.
Do I have the officers for these two counties already in there?
No.
If you could send me an email, because
It's just they're just temporary chairs.
okay, yeah, just send me with the temp chair and their names so that I can fill all that out.
For all the other officers, I have updated all of our affiliated counties in Civi, all of that stuff.
And when he was saying earlier that Civi is the source of truth, what that means is we're no longer using the spreadsheets in our Google Drive or things like that. Civi is accurate. Civi will be maintained as the accurate source. So from now on, if you want to know as a district rep who's the county chair, or if that needs to be updated, it needs to be updated in Civi, not a spreadsheet. We will still be asking people to submit their annual survey, the Google form, and then Chuck will go through and make sure that that's accurate. And if there are problems with it, if there's discrepancies, then he'll contact the district rep to find out what's going on.
But yeah, if you make changes in Civi, let me know, because then I will make them on the LPIN.org page, and I'll also go to the LP and sync them all up. But I just did that exercise. So anything that was in there is now, it should be across all the platforms.
Okay.
Correct.
I have sent you emails before, but now that I realize your email is tech and not IT, I understand why you never responded. So I will correct that from now on.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to district reports. Mr. Poland, District 1, you have 2 minutes, sir.
Okay, well, I only had a couple of things. The one we've already discussed is that Porter County would like to move their Super Saturday event to 11/13, which sounds like that will work out better for everyone in the long run. So I will work with them on that and find out specifics. They had their meeting and they had some concerns about the other date, and that was kind of what they came back to us with. So the other things I had, I don't know if we had talked about it, but as far as the government shutdown is concerned, are we as a party going to put out a press release in support of the government shutdown and mentioning how it's a good start, or do we not want to touch that?
Not only are we going to do that, but I don't know if you guys have ever seen, there's a button going around on Facebook every couple of years that says, I support government shutdown.
Beautiful.
I created that
Take a frame.
back in 2011, and it's been used by like 10 million people. According to
So you were
Facebook.
doing it before it was cool.
Way before it was cool. So we're gonna do that again, and we're gonna revive that graphic, and leading up to the potential government shutdown or any vote on raising the debt ceiling or any stopgap measures they plan on doing. We're gonna do a shut it down rally call type of thing. The fascinating thing is Biden was just saying the other day that, or it was Nancy Pelosi, said that part of this deficit, part of this debt was caused by Trump and his $2 trillion tax cut. And they're like, well, wait, no. It was caused because you kept spending the money after the tax cut. So yeah, no, I mean, this is the Ron Swanson moment, This is what we live for. Shut it down.
Is anybody going as Ron Swanson for Halloween?
I probably am.
Time.
Do you have anything, are there any questions for Mr. Pullen?
Well, hang on. So real quick, I maybe extend for 1 minute because I don't know, Evan, if this is going to be new business or not, but you and I didn't get a chance to finish our conversation about first district congressional.
I would rather not talk about that.
Got it. Good, done. That's what I was going to ask. No need to extend them.
Okay. Shut it. We're going to extend by 1 minute, and the chair indulges and recognizes Cassie Roland, who is the county chair of Kosciuszko County.
Thank you. I got contacted by somebody who lives in Porter County, so that's District 1, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Porter County, there is a new organization out there that's called Porter County Parents for Freedom in the Valparaiso area, and they're looking for other organizations to, you know, get together. I guess they did a freedom rally last weekend, and they had near 300 people show up.
That's impressive.
Yeah, so I reached out to them and shared the Porter County page, and then I messaged Matt LaFree about it. So I'm extending my remarks to Chuck over there.
Also send an email to District 1 at lpin.org.
Okay.
That way he's got that information, and then he can also disperse it to the other counties in the, well, there's 2 counties in the first.
Well, could we
almost 3.
Could we extend by like 3 minutes and talk about this?
Son of a, yes. Is there any objection to extending for 3 minutes for Mr. Pullen?
I have a question relating to that. Is it something that involves the whole committee, or is it a Kosciuszko district?
He's talking about it, so. There was almost an objection, but not quite. So Mr. Pullen, you have the floor for 3 minutes.
Well, this is to Cassie's point. So I've also been attending a lot of the events here in Lake County involving, you know, the mask freedom rallies and things like that. My school district had a very large rally that made the Chicago news. And so I guess that's kind of my, you know, the issue that I had with them, and I've been so they invited me to be a part of their group and kind of talk to them about strategy and stuff like that. And the whole point, like with school boards, is it's sort of a nonpartisan issue. And obviously one of the big concerns I had with them was, I wish in retrospect, the Libertarian Party had gotten more behind this. But the problem that they're having now is that you have a bunch of parents showing up for an event like this, and then there's a couple of dudes waving Trump flags. So like we had one in Crown Point where the media wrote a bunch of idiot Trump guys that hate, that love, you know, that want to kill your grandmother, or disrupted everybody's lunch. And so kind of the problem with this movement is it went from being a movement of freedom to now it's a bunch of, you know, it's like a Trumpster thing. And we've kind of, I mean, I guess that's sort of my concern is I wanted to engage more with these groups and start posting more about it. But again, the Trumpsters have kind of taken the reins of these events and they're flying their flags and stuff. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk to the group about. Like, do we want to try to take these events back, or do we distance ourselves because of the Trumpsters?
Absolutely take them back. So just like when we had the First Amendment thing up there in Lake County in Hammond, Indiana, you know, those guys all reached out to me after that event and me telling McDermott, you know, what he could go do with himself over that, the censorship of the Biden, anti-Biden flag. They were all hardcore. I mean, we were the only non-Trump people there. But yeah, we got really good play out of it. We had people join the party from your district. We had people donate. We had people that are interested, and you know, it spread all the way down to Evansville because some of those that Gabe or whatever his name is was from down there, and he started talking positively about how the Republican state chair and the Republican county chair did nothing up there, but the Libertarians were there to defend somebody we don't even like.
Right. Well, and that's the thing is, I was going to post, like, for instance, I was going to post pictures of that event on our county page. And then the problem was there was just a bunch of Trump flags in the middle of my picture. And I was like, do I really want to post this on a Libertarian page? You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's okay. I feel like, you know, we work with the people on the things that we can work on, and it's okay to say on there, well, we may not support their preferred candidate, we still defend the rights of the individual to have a public opinion.
Right. Well, and I tried to explain. I tried to explain to the Trump people. I said, look, the second that you pull out your Trump flag, you lose half of your support. You know, from the Democratic side, parents that are Democrats that are concerned about this issue, they're not going to show up if you're flying your Trump flag. And I've tried to explain this to them over and over again. And they would rather fly their Trump flag on the news, and then the news writes negative articles, and it just becomes a circle jerk.
Just keep chipping away at it, because eventually one of the other things that you're going to have is the Trump people are going to wear themselves out.
Right. Well, and they booed Trump the other day for even mentioning vaccines or whatever. So.
Yeah, exactly.
And whoever's taking your pictures, just tell them to be cognizant. Maybe don't get the flags in the pictures.
It's hard, man, that rally.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was.
Angle has flags.
You do your best. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't.
Or a Confederate flag.
Yeah.
It's one of the two.
Yeah, take your pick.
Put it on portrait.
If we pulled their pants down, they would have had Trump on their ass. I mean, they were Trump
Maybe
stars.
maybe the solution is setting up your tent and table at the edge and taking, strategic shots. And also it kind of separates you at the same time you're still there, like together, but yet separate,
Well, I'll tell you a quick funny aside. I don't know if you guys remember when we had the event here it was Halloween of last year, where the governor came to Lake County and there was a rally outside. And so we protested the governor.
Oh, that's time.
Okay.
District 3, Christy Avery. Oh, I did. Well, you've been doing a lot of talking. District 2, Elizabeth Coquillard.
Just talk once, okay. So District 2 is doing some great things. We had the Marshall County Blueberry Festival on Labor Day. That was a very successful event. We had very positive feedback from the parade goers. We got some media locally, which was good. We had positive criticism that we responded to well. So I'm really excited for Marshall County. They're really jumping in. And then, so that event went really well. We had members from all over the state. We call it our Cool Kids Coalition, but because we're so small up north, so right now we are banding together and doing things together to show up in force. So the parade turned out great. We had people from all over the state. The next event coming up is on September 29th. It is we're calling it the Life, Liberty, and Property Rights Rally. And it is near and dear to my heart. I came across the news article, WNDU picked it up. A woman in Bourbon, Indiana, her name is Suzanne Afalabi. Her house burned down back in May. Her house of 56 years that she was born in. And so because of her situation, her lifestyle, she has animals, and with her employment, she has to have privacy. And so she couldn't go to a hotel. She couldn't go to an apartment. Her solution was an RV, and the insurance company agreed and provided her an RV to put on her property while her property is being assessed and paid out and rebuilt. She lives about 2 miles outside of town, but just within zoning limits, and has nosy neighbors who complain to the zoning board. And the zoning board has already told WNDU they will not be granting a variance for her to keep her RV. They would prefer that she's homeless. So that's.
Move to extend 2 minutes without objection. Okay.
So that is September 29th at the community park in Bourbon at 6 p.m. We are holding a community rally to get support around this woman to also attend the October 11th zoning board meeting. I've reached out to Evan. We're going to do a call to action. I want people from all over, to come and support this woman, because this is important. This is our bread and butter. This is what we stand for. And so we need to show up for the community, and we're gonna have a meal for donations. We're gonna have t-shirts for sale. We also have a rally for a knife that was donated to us. So we've got good things going on.
And the money that they're raising is not being raised through the county party. They're doing that individually on their own. But that money is going to go to Susan to help her either sustain housing or to fund fighting the planning commission office. This is the zoning board. I would encourage you, if you are available, even though it's all the way up in the second district, which is basically Michigan, if you have the availability to go on the 29th of September and for the variance meeting on October 11th, please go. Having a large number of people there holding signs and rallying and supporting her will make a difference for her. From a political standpoint, it also proves that libertarians care. And when we see this type of bureaucracy, it's incumbent on us to push back against it as hard as we can. So if you can be there, please be there. The rally on the 29th is already on the county page and the state party page. We will have it on the website. The 29th, the meeting on the 11th will also be on there, and we'll send out an email rallying people statewide to come to both. Do you have anything else? No? Okay. District 3, Christy Avery.
Sorry, I was kind of unprepared there. All right, I made up a nice little update, but apparently I was a day or two late, so it didn't get sent out. I may just randomly send it to everybody on the list anyways, because why not? Kosciuszko has been doing their first Friday outreach events every month. They have a nice looking booth. They have merchandise, and you've probably seen a lot of the t-shirts. I think Cassie may be wearing one today. I'm not sure because I'm not there. Woot! They hosted the Super Saturday event that was well attended. They're continuing to meet every month and attend some local council meetings and things like that. Whitley County has done a couple of First Friday events. They had an article in the local paper, and Allen County, we meet twice a month, a business meeting and a casual meeting. There's sometimes cake. DeKalb County and Wells County don't really have much going on. There were a few people from the district who went to the LP 50th anniversary gathering in Colorado. Morgan Rigg and myself received lifetime membership pins, so that was a good time. Some of us went over to the second district because we like them and we don't care that it's almost to Michigan, and participated in the Marshall County Parade. Some of us may also be going to the event next Wednesday. And I think that's about it. Any questions? Yay, no questions.
All right. Dennis is not here for the 4th district. So Mr. Nolan, you're muted. You're still muted.
Thank you. Hamilton County is working with feedingteam.org for some voluntary opportunity on October 9th. The first weekend in September, Tipton County did an outreach at the Tipton County Pork Festival. And we currently have a booth up at the Jonesboro Festival in Grant County. Go and see Clayton Schultz, and he'll be there. And I believe that Don Rainwater is also planning to attend, so should be a good time. It's a nice little festival. It's not real big, but it's really nice. That's all I have.
Any questions for Mr. Nolan? No. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Nolan. Luke Lomax, at your first meeting of the State Central Committee. First, congratulations.
Thank you.
And 2 minutes for your report.
Okay, so first of all, I'm gonna be emailing you this week to get access to City, so that I can see everything. Just since I have expressed interest, Hancock County itself has gained 3 members. I live right down the street over here on 300 North, next to all the construction. So 3 members since August 1st. I've spoke with Tom Frukenhofer, and he said he and Rex are the only ones that are showing up to county meetings in Wayne County. So if anybody lives close to Wayne County that's maybe out of district, or if you know anybody that's in Wayne County, I will get that information to you as soon as I get access to City, if you guys would like to go to a meeting. Also, I'm going to be emailing tech@lpin.org with my new phone number. that I have created just for the District 6 LPIN. I'm doing it as a eSIM right now as a second line on my phone, but it is 317-220-9979. And it shows up as LPIN District 6 on caller ID. So if you guys are interested at all in learning how to get that done as a second line, I work for AT&T, so I can help you out with that. And I will give back the rest of my time.
Mr. Schulteis, you have the
Number again?
317-220-9979.
Thank you.
Mr. Schulteis.
I don't know if people are watching the Zoom chat, but I did add an alias for Chuck as IT at LPIN. Just send it to
Do
the.
that now. Now it's gonna mess me up. It's tech@lpin.org.
I wonder if all of your emails are gonna get forwarded now that he added it as an alias.
Well, I'd have to add it as an account, start checking it. I'm not checking too.
I think it would automatically.
Yes.
Full disclosure, I've never been anywhere near the 6th district, so I'm not too familiar with the lay of the land there, but if I'm not mistaken, a large bulk of our elected officials in the state are in District 6.
Hold on. Without objection, going to move to extend by 3 minutes. I got some shit I want to say.
3 minutes, you said?
Yes.
So I just wonder if you were in contact with any of them.
So Tom was the first one that I reached out to, Tom Frockenhofer, and then we've got Rex Bell is in my district currently, although it looks like with the proposed maps, he's gonna stay in my district. It also looks like I'm going to gain Johnson County and part of Southern Marion County, which is cool, because I'm from the Marion County, Johnson County line. It's where I grew up, so I'm very familiar with that neighborhood. But you're actually really close to District 6 right now, because it is about a mile and a half away.
I did ask him, like, where are we at right
Yeah. So yeah, it's something, like I said, I need to get the login stuff for city so I can get in there and get those party chair names for the county parties so that I can start reaching out to them and maybe get an organizational event together. Like I spoke with Evan about, we're gonna do a kind of a special convention in Hancock County at the Lions Club on 52 down in New Pal. And we're shooting for November 20th. We're coming up on the deadline for making sure that we can notify everybody in time right now. So we're all working on getting that together.
For a couple of you weren't on the committee before, so I'll explain. Hancock County was on the verge of disaffiliation, and then Phil Miller notified us that Nate Luke, because this is a little Lomax than Nate Luke. This is too many Lukes. It's very confusing. That Nate Luke had been made the county chair, but then we never received any information after that. But technically, we received that information prior to the state convention. So there was no cause for disaffiliation. However, there's been no update, no activity, no nothing. It didn't really happen, essentially. So we've been working together with Nate, with other people. They're going to hold a special convention instead of an organizing convention. The bylaws haven't been updated since like 2004. There have been no filings with the county since 2015. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be done. So we're going to treat it kind of like an organizing convention. However, there's no request for affiliation because technically they're already affiliated. But we're going to there's new bylaws, new officers, do basically everything you would do with an organizing a convention, except for the request for affiliation. That's happening November 20th. November 20th.
Tentatively.
Yeah. That reminds me, that was the question. Dang it. We're going to have to amend the affiliation here, or the agenda at some point.
Is there a reason you pointed at me specifically?
No.
Okay, cool.
Okay, Mr. Williams, 7th District.
Yes, so the 7th District, Marion County.
Hold the time for a second.
Oh, okay.
First, I want to thank Marion County, the 7th District. They are one of the sponsors of the party that we are having here at 3 o'clock today. They are the supplier, they funded the food and beverage, as well as our 2 US Senate candidates, James Siniak who will also be here later, and Will Henry, both seeking our nomination for the Senate seat, are also sponsors, but I do want to thank Marion County for being the sponsor and for letting me raid your piggy bank.
On the August meeting, which I was attending. I did not attend the latest gathering on the 14th of this month because it was in Mooresville and I had to go home to see my Cindy. And, but I think, Chuck, were you there?
No, I have conflicts with Knights Columbus, so
Oh, okay.
otherwise I would.
I saw it on the Facebook that you were, so that's what I asked. I didn't know if anyone was there.
I didn't go either.
Okay.
So I was gonna go, but I didn't feel like it.
So basically, we're still hammering out the details for the Super Saturday event, December 11th. I saw something in the initial agenda that isn't in the current form about a temporary chair.
For Johnson County?
Oh, I thought there was something for Marion County too.
It said Marion County,
Okay.
but it was supposed to be Monroe County, and then that fell through anyway.
Oh, very well.
I know, I had a bunch of people ask me about that. Wasn't Marion County already affiliated? What?
Yeah. Well, yeah, but I was curious because our county chair has been kind of very busy.
Yes.
And so our vice chair has had to
Diplomatic.
take over a lot of the responsibilities. It's made things a little difficult with planning, but Rico and I are.
Yep. Rico is doing an amazing job.
He's doing a great job. He's doing a great job, and I hope he runs for chair.
He will.
Oh, yeah, he definitely.
Of the county party. Let's
Of the
get
county
that
party.
right
Of the
now.
county
Now,
party.
state party. Let's go, Rico.
Now, he might be a state chair someday.
Anything else, Mr. Williams?
Not at this time.
Any questions for Mr. Williams? The 7th District? Okay, hearing none. Moving on to Jay Solomon from the 8th District.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So District 8, after some personnel shakeups, we're still, getting everything back on track. So there's a couple of things that are still requiring attention, but are being handled. We have an event at least once a week in the 8th District. I know Greene County is participating in an event today, right now. The Apple Fest, also in Greene County, is next weekend. There's a Vandenberg County Pride event, October 10th. And then the biggest one that we have coming up, the Owen County Pride Festival. Owen County, even though it is a very small county, has its own Pride Center with, public meeting rooms, some sort of, yes, Spencer, Indiana. in Owen County.
Actually, the Libertarian Party is, until recently, we've been going to that since 2010. We had it looked at it for years.
Their executive director personally invited me, but didn't mention any of that. So it might be new personnel now, because he acted like he had no idea.
Why can't I remember the names? I was actually friends with the couple that started it and ran it, and that's why we went to
Well,
it.
it's a couple, so it might still be.
Yeah, it's
Executive director, president?
Josh, Justin, Jacob. Yeah,
Oh,
I know.
must have forgotten. Pay attention. But no, we were explicitly invited to that when I met Jacob. And I'll probably say some more on that.
Abash, Jacob Abash.
Didn't know his last name. Also, there is a special convention for the 8th District Committee after this meeting. I'm a busy day. And we will also be announcing our winners for our fundraising rifle raffle. So if anyone is interested in buying tickets that is currently in attendance, I think I've got a few in the car before I leave.
How much are the ticket?
$5 a piece or 5 for 20.
Do you take PayPal?
What kind of raffle?
We cannot.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
So we are raffling off
Especially
a
since
Browning
we're-
Xbox
yes.
300 win mag.
I got a.
I've got $20 for you right now.
Yeah.
After
Yeah.
we're on the right or something. Yeah.
Move to extend by, or without objection, going to extend by 1 minute. Mr. Schultheis?
I don't know if we need to amend the agenda for this, but I was just notified by Mr. Spengel that he's moving out of his storage facility soon. So either the SCC will need to take over that entire unit or find somewhere else to store its items.
We will, after the break, there's a couple of items that we need to add to the agenda, so I will request that being added to the agenda at that time. Thank you, Mr. Schultheis. Any question? I'm going to reserve that time. Was there any other questions for Mr. Solomon? Since that had no bearing whatsoever. Okay, no other questions for Mr. Solomon. Mr. Hirsch from the 9th District.
Okay, I attended the Libertarian Party's at the 50th anniversary gala. At the last second, I was able to give away a free ticket to Chris Golf.
Yeah, nice.
So that worked out. Yeah, he went there with James and Celiac, and they had a great time. And everybody had a great time. We had a great Indiana contingent. Anyway, as far as our county, Washington County is not going to have any meetups until January. The January is going to be the county convention. Rhonda Green is taking over as county chair. And I heard she needs to file that CFA 3 to get it amended, all that good stuff. So she's aware of all that. And January 13th is the Washington County Convention. Okay, in Lawrence County today, that they're doing a parade. There's the Permissian festival going on down there in Mitchell, Indiana, and they're doing the parade right now, in fact.
Yep.
So Tanya, and of course, Tanya's all excited about remaining in the 9th District. Hopefully that'll stick. She's already announced her campaign. I mean, she's going to run for Congress regardless of which district she's in. I know you're saying that don't count your chickens too quickly, but of course, for the time being, Lawrence won't need the 9th.
She was exactly what I was talking about.
Well, if you got some white out, a 9 can become a 4.
Well, but she's going to run for Congress regardless, no matter where she ends up. So
She's awesome.
okay. Now, in Harrison County, I haven't had a chance to contact her yet, but someone who used to live in Washington County, I was notified last night that she now not only lives in Harrison County, she wants to take over as Harrison County chair to get that county going again. I've not heard squawk.
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Harrison County.
Harrison County.
Yeah, that they, Sean Boston stepped down, kind of got his pants tied and knocked a while back. And Brian Tincher was the county chair, but I mean, he hadn't had any news or anything lately. So Stephanie Vines, who used to live in Washington County, apparently, and I still need to contact her. I just found this out last night. She's wanting to get Harrison County going again. So
Time.
Extend. How much time do you need?
One more minute would be great.
Okay, without objection, we could give them 2 minutes.
Okay.
No objection. Go ahead.
Okay. Let's see where I'll leave off here. Anyway, Morgan County has done all kinds of events, but they've been doing at least 1 or 2 or 3 events every single weekend. Danny Lundy's here. Danny, would you like to speak to some of the stuff, or is he here?
He left.
Okay, well,
He and Galt showed up to the Antelope Club today.
oh, really?
Yes. So they're eating breakfast, I think.
I don't think Danny did. Danny said he sent Galton instead. James did. So it's James and Galton.
James and Galton at the Antelope Club.
Okay, I don't have a handy list right here. Suffice to say that Morgan County's done a whole bunch of stuff.
Morgan's awesome.
And they're very often. Unfortunately, they're leaving the 9th District unless Morgan and Johnson both are leaving the 9th.
Yeah.
But we're picking up a bunch of counties out east if it holds up. So, yeah, okay, that should do it for now.
Okay. I did have somebody reach out to me about Floyd County, that they want to get involved, and they're very interested in reviving the leadership in Floyd County.
So am I.
We could talk more about it, later. Because I sent an email to the person that's listed in Floyd County.
Mike Martin.
We've got nothing.
I'll spank his ass for you.
Yeah.
He might enjoy that. Well, in fact, by the way, that reminds me of Clark and Floyd are right now doing the food pantry. They do it every other week.
Yep. Any questions from Karen? Okay, hearing none. Without objection, I'd like to rearrange the agenda here and actually take our break now instead of, and do the convention discussion after that. Is there any objection to that? Hearing no objection. We are going to keep the video recording and the live stream going, but we are going to mute the hall in here while we go on a 10-minute break. So everybody please come back at 12:11.
So excited, we're all doing stuff.
Yeah. It's not muted yet, so be careful what you say.
This is Don. Just calling up to find out what's going on. And I'll talk to you soon or when you get a hold of me. Bye. Don, and I have a hard time getting information at this place, so I was wondering if you could find a number for Dr. Raley, R-A-L-E-Y, who's an acupuncturist on Goss Avenue. I'll call again and see what you can do. And yeah, I'm gonna make an appointment for the 10th of July. So things are just as hopeless as they've always been. And
Sorry.
Yes, we're back.
Okay, it is 12:12. We are back in session. Next on the agenda. What did you just break?
I'm Helen.
I don't think it broke.
Oh, was it?
It's PVC, it ain't gonna break.
Oh, okay. Leaning pillar. Before we go on to the next item on the convention, I'd like to add 4 items to the agenda under new business. Where's Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Okay. I would like to add 4 items to the agenda, or excuse me, 5 items to the agenda under new business. 10 minutes for candidates of the future, led by Mr. Nolan. 10 minutes for discussion on the current storage unit. 5 minutes for the appointment of a temporary chair in Jackson County. 2 minutes for the removal of a temporary chair in Monroe County. And 10 minutes on gaming issues with our gaming license. Is there any objection to those additions?
The removal of a temporary chair, is that something we should take out in executive session?
No, they requested it. It's fine.
All right.
Hearing no objection, the agenda is amended as stated. Mr. Rigg, did you get those written down?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And we'll do those at the top of the section.
Did you say how much time for each item, Chris?
I did.
Yes. Yes, he did.
And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Lucy. Please turn to your packets, starting with attendance up at the top. This is the report from the convention from last year, followed by the estimate from the Forum Center, the form contract, the estimate from Simply Serve, the courtesy block agreement from the HUD. And I'm gonna interrupt Lucy every now and then.
Yes, please feel free.
Congratulations.
Yep, absolutely. So we'll take a minute to talk about what happened last year. And thank you to Danny Lundy, who's not here to hear the thanks for the great work that he and Lori did, and especially with putting together a very nice document that you guys can review for later. So last year, yes.
Can everybody on Zoom hear Lucy okay?
I got a pretty big voice. Can you hear me? I'm a big mouth broad.
Yeah. No
All
one's
right.
shaking his head yes.
No one's like, yeah, you're a big mouth broad. I saw that. I saw that timing. The timing of that was so suspicious. So last year, as you'll see in the attendance, we had 125 total attendees, 89 in person and 36 remote. But that didn't include media volunteers and vendors. So we actually had a few more than that. Obviously, we're looking ahead with some positivity to think that there won't be any COVID restrictions and all the crap that we went through last year. So we're hoping to make all of these attendees in person. I don't know if the dog confers or not.
However, we did authorize that some people can choose to participate remotely.
Yes, and there will be some people, I'm sure, that want to participate remotely. The AV people would very much like to control the live stream.
That's not gonna happen.
Yeah, but I told them that it was internal only. We're only connecting to our cloud. We're not broadcasting to the public, so he's cool with that.
That's also not true.
Oh, well, I believed it was true at the time, so I'm sure there was total sincerity in my voice.
And
as I
we
lied
live
myself.
streamed it last year.
Yeah.
And we'll continue to do that. Chuck handles that AV, he
Right.
works with them. Is Chuck aware of that?
Okay, so Chuck, what you might want to be aware of when I talk to the AV guys, he challenged me on why I would need 2 wired connections, one for the check-in desk and one for you. And he said, well, it makes sense because you guys live streamed that thing last year. And I said, well, the only reason that we're doing that is to connect to the cloud because we have videos to play. So we need to connect that to our server. So
no,
I totally.
well, he needs it for being able to do the live stream and our Zoom participants and any remote participants. We need it at the front desk because connecting to our server, to our database to check people in. That was, I think everybody will agree, the check-in at this past convention was the fastest check-in we've ever had at a convention. However, it could be 50% faster if we had a wired connection.
Yeah.
Because the Wi-Fi, it slows it down dramatically.
And so the only thing I would say about that is the only reason we do that is because, as Evan said, check-in is at the very front of the building and I'm at the very back of the building. So if they really want me to run a 200-foot cable through their banquet hall, I'd happily do so, but it's just much easier to give us 2 connections. Unless they want like $500 to plug in, I'll bring a switch and do it myself. But like in the case of the last hall, the last center, you know, it's kind of rude of me to just show up and plug into the network and start doing stuff. So I normally like to just let them know what we're doing and let them set it up.
Yeah, I think everything that you said is going to be fine. They also asked me about the photography, and I said that we have a private photographer that's very artistic. And so he agreed that our artistic photographer was not in contravention of their contract. Yeah, they were really trying to, I think, wheedle in there and get some more money for AV.
I mean, they always do. And that's just why we fight them, because again, you're spending twice as much for them to come in and do nothing. So that's why I always fight them. And we try to outsource as much as we can.
Yes, but thank you guys for the language on the Zoom and remote participants, because that makes it clear that we're not broadcasting to the public. Although I did make it clear to him that we weren't, so maybe I totally lied.
But we are, but I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think that those people are public. So anyway, so that was awesome. Danny did an amazing job last year to the point where we actually had a profit on the convention, which it was looking kind of close, but he pulled that off. We obviously want to do better this year and have a larger profit. So I would like all of you to think about who your contacts are. Do you own a business that you could promote, that you could be a vendor? And who do you know that does an excellent job in the libertarian community that we can hit up for vendors, for vendor tables, for sponsorships into the book and everything?
On that, real quick to interrupt, I had a conversation with Mark Rutherford what the hell is today? Today's Saturday, so it would have been Friday morning about the convention, and I just asked him if he would be interested in sponsoring again, and he said he wouldn't be able to commit to that until the middle of January, and then he called me later that night and said, you know what, go ahead, I'll be the sponsor again. So we've got Thrasher, Bushman and Vogel as the $2,500 sponsor for the convention. So we've already got $2,500. Yay!
On top of that, I'm also talking to John Lytle, who's the treasurer now in Hancock County. He just opened his own insurance brokerage firm, and he is interested also in sponsoring at some level. So he likes tax write-offs.
We didn't hit the sponsorship and the vendor tables until really late, and that was because we were doing the transition to Civi. So a lot of that stuff didn't happen until almost the end of January, with the convention being the end of March. So there wasn't a lot of time. My goal is if we approve everything today and we have our marching orders moving forward, everything, ticket packages, the room block, everything will be up on the website by October 4th. So the date I said, October 4th, so that we can go ahead and start selling advertising space, sponsorships, tables, tickets. Everything that we need will be up there. Some of it will be fill-in. We're not going to necessarily know who all the speakers are going to be and things like that, but you can at least buy your package ahead of time. Does that make sense? Okay. And we've already now officially sold the first top tier sponsorship. So we're already positive.
Evan turned small conversations into multi-thousands of dollars of revenue, which we all appreciate. You don't have to be a salesperson. A lot of people do have, an aversion to sales. I do not. I love it. So if you have somebody, don't feel like you need to sell them on this or know all the details, just give them my phone number and my email address, vice-chair@lpin.org. And I will be
Don't
happy
do
to
that.
sell. Nope.
Email their contact info to Lucy and have Lucy.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, that's much better. An introductory email would
Yeah,
be even
would be
better.
better.
Hey, Lucy, here's this awesome person. Hey, awesome person. Lucy's awesome. And you guys should talk. So happy to do that. So that was vendor tables and sponsorships. Hadn't talked with you about this, Evan, but lifetime conversions. Can we get a list of people and where they are with their donations so that we could encourage them between now and then to maybe make an equal monthly donation so we can pin them? Do we want to even let people know that they can convert these donations to a lifetime membership? There's a little bit of strategy there.
I think that's something to talk about. That would be a Michael Schulteis thing. I know he can do it. I don't think it's necessarily out of the realm of possibility for us to send emails to people saying, hey, you're only $100 away from being a lifetime member. If you contribute $100 within X amount of times, you can request a lifetime membership status.
Yeah.
I think that it should be somebody who's less than 100 away.
Okay.
Because I don't want to encourage people to, although we've only had one lifetime member who stopped giving regularly. That was already giving regularly.
I think that might further
There
the
was only
commitment.
one that stopped, and it wasn't even because they were like, hey, I'm a lifetime now, I don't have to. It's because they were in hard times. They had just finished doing a whole bunch of work on their house and their property. And right before they had a cookout, a storm came through and undid all of the work that they had just done. So
yeah, that was bad. Very, very bad. Training is still up in the air. We don't know who we're gonna be using for training next year, but it will not be gasoline. I would love it if each of you would read all this document. Obviously, I'm not gonna spend the time here reading all of this out loud. Were there any portions of this that you thought open for
the most
discussion?
important thing to note is people like using the crowd per by and large. So it's something that we should be committed to continuing using, which isn't expensive. It only costs us $150. The other thing to note is that the convention expenses, and this isn't actually complete because there were a few other expenses that were on there, but the convention expenses were, this reports it at 16,000. It was probably closer to 17,000. So when you're looking at the finalized estimates that Lucy's going to ask for, it's almost identical. It's within a couple $100 of what was actually spent last year. So it's almost the same price with a lot more opportunity for more people to actually attend in person. So that was the main reason why I wanted to print and have you guys see this was the issues that we had with catering was because of COVID and because the person who was organizing the catering, who won't be mentioned by name, Sam Goldstein, neglected to ask for beverage service for the dinner. So everybody had to go to the bar and buy a drink as opposed to having a water or tea station set up. And that was a complaint that a lot of people had who were at the dinner, was that there was no beverage served with the dinner. That has been addressed and fixed. There was also the complaint that there was no beverage service during the day, that we didn't have coffee or teas available for people during the training and the business meeting.
Or water, even that matter.
Right.
Is that part of the extra cost from Simply Serve?
Yes.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's shockingly high how much you have to pay to get a few glasses of water and some tea and coffee.
Do you have?
With this report, compared to last year's, it looks like we're only $620 above.
Yeah.
And if last year's wasn't including the drink service at all.
Right. That's right. So we're actually, you're not seeing in the difference is you're not seeing, well, in our final total of what we came up with, which was just over 17,000, which isn't listed here, did not include any of the training.
Yeah.
That was not covered under the gasoline?
No, for 2022.
What we're talking about,
Oh,
having a
yeah.
17,000 budget does not include the $2,000 that was spent on gasoline. It does include, we did a little bit of an increase for the Broken Egg, which did the 1994 Society breakfast. We increased that a little bit because we were at max capacity. We were over capacity at our 94 Society breakfast, and we have had significantly more people join the 94 Society breakfast who are likely to attend that. There will also, I am planning to hold a second event, a different event, the morning of the convention during the registration periods, specifically for VIP members for lifetime members. That will come out of my personal pocket, and it'll be coffee and donuts with the chair. That will only be available for people who are lifetime members. And something that I'd like to start doing with that is not spending a lot of money on it because that money's already dead money, but acknowledging and thanking and providing something at the convention that's specific just for lifetime members who are lifetime members prior to the convention. But that will be coming out of my personal pocket because it's my idea and I don't know if it'll work. So if you're looking at the estimates for the Forum Center, it's very, very close to the same price as the previous year. I mean, it's like $1 apart.
Yeah.
$1.51.
Yes, we're really excited about that, and they're
Yeah.
going to give us 2023 as well. So we're grabbing it for 2023.
Simply Served, they did discount their pricing. The minimum on the bar was $1,000. They dropped that down to $750.
Last year.
For upcoming.
Which we did not meet our bar minimum, but we also stopped the party at like 9:30.
Yeah.
So we're gonna keep it going until
11 p.m.
11 p.m.
And kicking everybody out at midnight.
So last call will be at 11 o'clock, and then after that, then we can go over to the Hyatt House and party there, which is what we did there, and we totally met our minimum at the Hyatt House, but we did not have a minimum there. They were not expecting us.
Did a great job.
This is pretty, the Simply Served is pretty on par with everything else. It does include a all-day beverage service of coffee, iced tea, and lemonade.
And right now, the all-day beverage service is estimated at 80 people. And we have dinner at 80, so we may have this cost increase.
We can get the, essentially it comes out to, I had it here somewhere, it's 42.75 or 42.20. Yeah, 42.27, $42.27 per person for the dinner.
So the food itself is cheaper this time?
Slightly.
Because like I said, there's a total increase of $6.20. This
So-
didn't include beverages, and this beverage quote is for 1134.8,
Yeah,
which is greater than $6.20, so.
I think part of that was the difference in the cash bar being dropped from 1,000.
yeah, it was the cash bar. There's also, they gave us a discount on the actual bartending staff. They cut that in half.
And we're showing plastics here, and I think we had China last time. So are we gonna stick with plastics to go cheaper, or do we want to put that to China?
I don't know, that should be China.
Yeah, so that means
Maybe
China.
plastics. Oh, no, you know what? I think the plates they're plastic.
Do you guys remember?
They were
They were nice
plastic.
enough. I didn't,
Yeah.
oh my God, it was plastic.
No, and the reason why was because we had to because of COVID.
Oh, right. And so we can
Because there was,
expect that
because there
next
was
year.
reuse,
Yeah.
there was no busing or dishwashing of anything that people had consumed on.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably gonna stay in place, so we might just have to do that way.
Yeah, it's cheaper.
Um,
They would have charged us like, I think, $4.25 for China.
And then that was also there were additions to staffing for COVID. They had to have significantly more staffing because they had to maintain the social distance during the thing. Plus, they were probably paying their people a little bit more to be there.
Yeah.
But so the staffing costs have gone down. The room block, we did get a room block from the Hyatt House. And it is what's called a courtesy room block. We're getting 15 rooms reserved per day, Friday and Saturday. We do not have to pay anything. So if we don't book a single room, we don't pay a dime.
Oh, and I've gotten further information from that I need to update you on because I was emailing her at 5 o'clock last night.
Yeah.
I should give you a heads up. In order for us to use Friday night at the hotel and then have the Sunday space, they want a 30 courtesy room block for each night to correlate to the days that we use the hotel. So if we're taking Friday nights, then we need the 30 room courtesy block for that Friday night, for our event. And then for Sunday, they would want us having their Saturday. So I'm going back and forth with her a little bit on.
That doesn't make any sense because we're not paying anything if nobody books.
Right.
So that's stupid.
Yeah, and
Okay, we'll
yeah,
figure it
so I'm
out,
going back
'cause
and
there's,
forth with her on that. They're really trying to get 60 nights out of us. 30
that's
nights on
fine.
Friday, 30
You know,
nights on
we
Saturday.
can commit to it.
Either way, we're not.
Either way,
As long as we
we're not
still don't have to pay
paying.
for it,
Yeah,
right, yeah.
I don't mind. They can make it 100. for all I
They want to
care.
make it look like they're busy.
Right.
Yeah.
And we did, I think, last year, I think we ended up booking, it ended up being like 45 room nights. Mr. Schulteis, real quick.
I'm not sure they're. doing that.
Last year I attempted to pay for the meeting room and it was given to us gratis. Is that included this time as well?
So it was given to us gratis because they had screwed some things up. They had double booked the room, another room. So they ended up giving us the bigger room and then they were just like, screw it. We're waiving the fee. We're not getting that this time.
No,
We have to pay for it.
it's only $500 for that.
But so that's good.
So book your rooms now.
No, well, not yet. 'Cause we don't
Yeah.
have it yet. I am already in conversations with other state chairs, asking them to send us some items for a raffle and silent auction. I want to do a 50 state bourbon prize. I don't know how I'm going to do that with Utah. Um,
That would be fun.
Yeah,
I've got Mormon family there.
I don't think they make any alcohol in Utah.
There's
Oh, I'm
probably
sure there's
shiners.
alcohol. It's
There's probably
definitely
some
like
shiners
this in
out there.
Utah, yeah.
Yeah, but let's face it, there's only one real bourbon and it comes from Kentucky.
I've got a Jack Mormon aunt that feeds me daily, so.
John Phillips has offered to donate a handmade Damascus forged blade that will be stamped with the LPIN logo.
Did you make the one that was the?
That went for, he made one that was,
He's a swordsmith?
he's a blacksmith. He had one that was auctioned off at the 50th gala in Colorado, and it went for $1,400.
$1,425.
Yeah. So he's gonna be sending one of those to us, but it'll be branded for the LPIN.
Nice.
That is free. He's not charging us anything for it. He's giving it to us, just because I asked.
Because he's a very
I
nice man.
asked, and he said, I'd be happy to. No one ever asks. So well, they're stupid.
Yeah.
And then I said, how much is it gonna cost? Be kind. And he said, I'll just give it to you guys. Because, and I think, I may be putting words in his mouth, but I think it was because we were the best state affiliate.
Probably.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Well, he didn't
That's
need
not
to
right.
say it. It's
If he didn't
obvious.
say it, I felt it.
Where's Mr.
He
Phillips
meant
from?
to say it.
Illinois.
Oh,
Yeah, it's not much of a competition.
in comparison, it's not by bar.
So,
Illinois State, not as an affiliate. I'm
in
sure they're very
conversation,
good.
in looking at, what we did in revenue,
Here's what we're thinking.
this
for
year it was
2022.
21, 28. So we put it at, we're asking for 17,000 to be approved and to go ahead and sign both the room courtesy room block contract and the Forum Event Center contract. Ticket prices. Last year, the early bird was 160. Mr. Schulteis?
Is there a deposit owed to the forum? And if so, what's that amount?
I think it was 900, but don't quote me on it.
Okay.
Ticket
There's
pricing.
deposit due to reserve space 500.
500.
Oh, 500, okay.
500.
And I think there's another deposit that would be in January with this, with the catering company.
Yes.
Michael.
And that may be where I'm getting the 900 from, because I think it's
I think it's-
25%
yeah,
to
it's like
reserve
that.
and then they've got it incrementally rather than.
So ticket pricing last year, early bird was 160 for the main, what we call the complete package. It was $200 after the early bird, which in previous years, we basically did it. Early bird was all the way up until the month before. And then the month before was the $200 pricing. So it was 160 and then 200. The student package was 150. And I think it was the 150 the entire time. There was no early bird on it. It was just 150. The a la carte, the training was $125. The dinner was $100. The 94 Society non-member add-on was $50, and there were two people who did that, who brought someone who was not a 94 Society member. The complete remote package was $100, and the business-only meeting was free. But we required people to register. That should be the same from now on, moving forward. You need to register ahead of time, even if it's for free, in person or remote, it doesn't matter. You need to register. We need to know who's going to be there.
But the a la carte special, other than the 94 breakfast, was that utilized at all?
Yes, yeah, there were people who only did the training or only did the dinner. There were actually quite a few of those. What we would like to do is to increase everything by $15.
Everything.
Well, the complete ticket, so moving the early bird to 175, the regular to 215, the student package to 165, and the dinner to 115, and the 94 Society non-member to 60. Keeping the training, keeping the complete remote, if I think, because we did say we wanted to keep that option open for people. I don't think there are going to be many takers on that this time around. But we need to make it available. But we're going to have additional costs. Seeing it at 17,000, there are going to be additional costs. That always happens. Somebody needs to let whoever that is into the room. Chuck, there's somebody waiting to get in the room.
Dennis Beatty.
Oh, cool. Hey, Dennis is here. Yay.
By the way, for those of you on the
Hi,
convention.
Dennis. You're real late.
Hi, Dennis. For those of you on the convention committee, I shared the drive file. So all the things that Evan just said, they're all in the notes and you can go reference that file.
I am correcting the attendance and marking you as a later arrival, Dennis. Thank you for being here.
For the ticket increase,
Yes.
has there been thought put into it? Now I don't have a model in front of me to plug it into, but keeping the early bird special what it is and then increasing the regular by a larger margin to incentivize the early registrations?
So the early bird is the largest portion.
Most people do the
buy
early bird already?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if we want to make sure that we're covering ourselves for additional direct convention related expenses, the best way to do that is to raise the price equally on both. And I thought $15 was a decent number because it's been artificially low for a long time. We haven't raised the price in a really long time. It's been $160 and $200 for a really, really, really long time. Convention activities, Friday nights, doing that again, probably going to partner with AF, the America's Future, used to be called America's Future Foundation, but they're woke now, so it's just AF.
Woke AF.
Woke AF. Yeah. Thanks. I'll be here for a few more hours. And they typically underwrite that event. So that's kind of a loss, or not a loss leader, but a
some cost.
Yeah, some cost. And I believe they've already expressed that they're interested in doing that again. Surprisingly, how nerdy it was. People really, really liked the TIF district discussion that AF did with us that Friday night.
That was good.
It was really popular. I was surprised. I mean, I find those conversations interesting, but have problems. Again, we would do the same thing that we did last year. We're at this previous convention, going somewhere, working with a broken egg, probably the same restaurant that we went to before for the 94 Society breakfast.
Are they always closed on Sundays?
Yes.
Oh.
Holding that breakfast again, doing that, see if we can get a little bit larger space, because I do believe we're going to have more people come to it this time.
Well, we overflowed it.
Yes, we had too many last time.
We need more bacon.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, definitely need more bacon and coffee.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. We got you covered.
Listen, they were only expecting about 40 people.
Yeah, it was incredible.
It was like 63, 64.
They did an incredible job.
So probably do that again there, and then hightail it back over to the Hyatt Place for our Sunday SCC meeting. So a lot of very similar things, doing some cost savings by not hiring people to do the training, instead relying on places like the Institute for Justice to do a panel as opposed to a training. the Leadership Institute to come out and do a training. Before the Leadership Institute came out in 2019 to our state convention, and they had someone that did an hour-long presentation on fundraising. We've had them come out before. They're great. Especially some of the newer ones that they're doing are just, honestly, they're exceptional. And the best part is they send their people to it, to do it, hoping that you'll then become a supporter of the Leadership Institute. So I dig that.
Sure.
Yes.
Do you know ahead of time who IJ is planning to sit for their panel?
No, it's very loose conversation as to right now.
Okay. I probably.
There are a couple of people who care. Any questions so far? Lucy, you got anything else you want to throw in here and add?
I mean, we have this crazy idea about doing an NFT for a fundraiser. So if you know any artists that might, we've already got notice that might be appropriate for that.
Are you guys familiar with an NFT is?
No.
Yeah. Enough to know, but I don't know.
Okay, so you've all heard about this thing called Bitcoin?
Yeah.
Okay, and it operates on this thing called blockchain.
Mhm.
And blockchain is this magic weird thing that will take hours to explain to you. Essentially what an NFT is
It's a non-fungible token.
I create something in the physical world, and then I digitize it, and I digitize it once, such as a meme, a tweet, a photo, whatever, a song, a clip of me telling Jared no over and over again. I then create a non-fungible token for it that I then sell, and now you become the owner of that thing, that digital version of that thing.
like
And it's
owning the
recorded
real-
it's recorded in blockchain.
It's tech hipster art.
It's like owning the
Yeah.
Mona Lisa versus owning a poster of the Mona Lisa.
Well, okay, so
So you
it's
have
the
the
difference
real-
between owning a digital, only one copy of the Mona Lisa, while the Mona Lisa hangs in the museum, while all the other poor schmucks have to buy the print.
Oh, yeah.
Because the physical thing
copy
still
into a
exists. The physical thing.
Well, you would
still
have,
exists.
you would likely have the rights to do so.
So we
If
were
that
talking
becomes
about
part of the
using a couple of artists to create some libertarian themed art that we would then do. Here's the original painting, original portrait. Here are a limited number of signed physical prints, and then an NFT.
And because we have so many nerdy crypto people, we're hoping to raise some money that way.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And the NFT can only be purchased through crypto.
Oh, naturally.
Ethereum, yeah.
Or Doge.
Can we?
Yes. Yeah, through our federal account, yes, we can.
Do we keep it as crypto or do we convert
it?
Yes.
The state says one thing, the feds say another. I'm gonna go with what the feds say, which the feds say they don't
Because they're
care.
stronger or because it's a better answer?
It's the better answer.
Wow. Mom and pop it together.
Yeah.
I mean, is it wise to?
Yes.
To transfer it as opposed to hold it?
No, you should hold it, and then.
Speculative value.
Right. But that's for, Michael to figure out.
I have a question about the convention. Have we talked about what speakers we were going to have?
No. There have been some people who have.
Well, I just wondered with the bourbon thing being brought in.
Oh, is that Evan uses his chair leverage to holler at some people in Michigan? I hear there might be somebody there.
Is that who you were thinking?
I was just wondering, because
I do know that Joe Jorgensen has committed to me personally that she will be at the convention, and I would be very happy if we gave her a time to speak. And my intention would be to ask the convention committee to schedule her at the opening of the convention, not the opening of the business meeting prior to the gathering for a 10-minute rally speech. which Joe actually, one of you was there. The rest of you can suck it. My birthday party was this past Saturday, celebrating my 40th birthday, and Joe Jorgensen drove up from South Carolina.
That's how much she loves it.
I thought I saw it in the photos.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And had I known that,
Yeah, got me.
I didn't get an
I would've
invite,
given
so
my
you know.
girlfriend's birthday
You
celebration.
can tell me to second all you want. but-
Yeah, I got an invite, but I spent my 50th birthday in Gatlinburg, so, you know, I took preeminence.
Plugging the idea, there might be somebody somewhere in Michigan, maybe Grand Rapids area.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely on the table.
Could be anybody.
Peter Meyer, definitely on the table.
Yeah, I showed up and he's stealing my shtick. With the birthday card.
Oh, yeah, now I'm totally stealing that. He does the thing where, it's like you're turning 40 or whatever, or in my case, 35. And he takes a 4-year-old card and makes it 0 and changes everything to 40. So you get this kid's birthday card, you're looking at it, and you're like, that ends up in Snickers.
He got Snickers.
I was so confused.
Yeah, and he's reading it like he's not understanding what's going on here.
Not at all.
Oh, he looks so confused.
Made for a 4-year-old couldn't understand.
Yeah.
That's
it.
The reason I do that is when my wife turned 50 and my girls realized that they actually made cards. They were so excited to buy a 50-year, card. So I thought, well, then when my mom turned 70, I got her 7-year-old card. So it made it 70.
That's awesome.
Are there any questions? Mr. Owen?
I have.
What? You have no questions?
Probably talked about it before.
Okay.
I have one quick question. So I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard about the success that Morgan County's had with the world's smallest political quiz. Are we able to reach out to advocates for self-government to see if they can do anything with training?
So, okay, for training.
Yeah.
Because I thought you were going to talk about the quiz, and I was going to be like, that's off topic.
That's a different conversation. But as far as the training aspect, since we're looking for a training vendor.
Yes and no. In my experience, the majority of the folks that do the walk around for the world's smallest political quiz officially for the advocates are really bad at training people on how to use the quiz.
Doesn't Mr. Pazell have a?
He's busy and we would have to pay him to come out. There are some options with that. At least I would like for the advocates to have a booth.
Or a table.
However, we're not keen on the new quiz design.
Right, yeah.
And I just, sidebar, I've been in communications with the advocates and with the main people at the advocates who keep it going and have expressed their displeasure with the quiz, the current new redesign of the quiz and how racist it is.
Is it truly?
Yeah, oh yeah, they do these comic book characters and the authoritarian is the only person of color and also the only person holding a gun.
Oh my God. Wait, didn't know. Why
Who
did you
didn't see that?
It was just questions, but they decided they wanted to be cool and edgy.
Is this the one that had like the avatar?
Yes.
Yeah, the avatar guy for the libertarian. Come on.
That only works if it's Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Say what again?
Actually, some of the updates to the questions, there were like 3 questions that were updated and they were actually really good. The thing about the advocates and the quiz was for a long time, they provided the graphic that you could put on other stuff. You could print your own cards, you could print your own posters, you can do all of that. And I said, hey, listen, we would like to continue being able to do that to put it on LPIN branded stuff. However, we don't want to use this horrible new design. Can we use old design with the new questions? And essentially, it wasn't a no. It was a, we really need to think about this because they spent a crap ton of money doing this rebranding.
They feel stupid now.
Yeah, I bet they feel
Yeah.
pretty dumb.
But you know what? People in New York and California love it.
Right, yeah.
Really?
And I'm like, listen, I can't use this at a county fair in, Rush County, Indiana. Like,
Yeah.
people are not gonna take us seriously with this. This is, you're talking about the Midwest. We're not comic books. This is not.
Okay, we're
us.
talking about the old timer crowd.
Yeah, well, or just, it doesn't even have to be old timer. I mean,
I'm
you know,
surprised California.
Kent Williams isn't an old timer, but
That's gonna check.
he's
What county do you live in?
Marion.
Okay, I don't understand Rush County. I don't know you people up
Okay,
here.
well, or Vanderburgh, or
I'm from
Chicago, or,
Well,
Washington.
Since it's like a yes and no, why couldn't they purchase a vendor table and,
Don't we believe in more choice for libertarians?
yeah,
I mean, if you wanna
I
use
give
some
them the
of those
option of
products.
having a table and
Yeah.
being able to sell it to us or whatever. you
Actually,
know?
yeah, definitely selling blue space. They're already in the business of
Yeah.
spending money on dumb ideas,
Yeah.
so.
Mr. Nolan,
Are we a little bit off the agenda?
a little bit.
Okay, so let's go back to training. I've had a suggestion from the peanut gallery of Caitlin Cloven,
Yeah,
Pickens, or Kara Schultz to come down train.
Kara's busy, not Michael Pickens.
Okay, but what about Caitlin?
Probably, yeah, somebody to talk
All
to.
right, I'll text her or whatever.
That's, so let's, we're getting real granular on like who the trainers should be and stuff like that. Let's get the convention authorized, and then the convention committee can work on picking the speakers and the theme, and we can deal with fundraisers and things like that later. First things first is we need to authorize the budget and authorize the chairman to sign any and all contracts.
And that is that gonna be a one-time cost, or are we gonna have to authorize additional funds later for the trainings?
We're just gonna do the one-time thing, and if there are cost overruns, then they need to be fundraised for.
Okay.
That is my opinion on it, is only if we get something additional, do we do that. So if we want to bring in, if Justin Amash is gonna charge us $5,000, if somebody from up in Michigan is gonna charge $5,000 to come to the convention, and people decide they want to do that, if people raise that money for it, then that gets spent for it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Directed donation.
So we're talking about 17,000 to cover what we currently are expecting?
Yes, Mr. Nolan.
You already answered my question. I raised it on the point of order that we're getting off the subject. You already addressed it.
Okay, thank you, sir. I'm gonna do this because I keep seeing it happening. I'm going to, with the body's indulgence, I'm going to recognize Mr. Dalton for his question because I keep seeing eggplants and donuts. Mr. Dalton. Did you have a question, Mr. Dalton? Seeing none? You're muted if you're talking. Okay. Oh, there's something in the chat. Chuck, can you read the chat out loud?
Oh, he was.
You're
telling
muted
Greg.
too, Chuck. He was telling Greg.
Okay, so I was trying to unmute Bill, but I think he has to unmute himself. So, okay, so we want to read the chat. Remember, I'm still on my phone, so I gotta figure this out.
Bill Dalton is from where? Oh. Okay, I'm gonna move on. I'm trying to ignore the eggplant that keeps popping up. I don't know. Is there any more discussion? Does anybody else have any more questions?
Why did we only do the catering estimate for 80 people if we had 89 in-person attendees last year?
Not everybody attends the dinner. That was 89 people who attended in person. There were only, that isn't actually a good point. We were capped at 80 people last year for the dinner.
Okay.
That was the most that we were allowed by the health department to have in there. Caterer will allow us, it's like 2 weeks in advance to increase by 20%. So we can get up to 96 dinner seats if we stay at the 80.
How many did we actually have attend last time?
It was technically, it was like 83.
Okay, so we met capacity.
Oh, we had to turn people away. We had to tell people that they couldn't come to the dinner. That wanted to buy a dinner package. And
So-
we told them we couldn't.
Should we up that number then? I mean, just.
Any objection to extending by 10 minutes? Hearing none, times extend by 10 minutes. My feeling on this is 80 is a good safe number for right now. We can come back in January and bump it up.
By 20% or more.
Because you
that.
have until 2 weeks, not at
Right.
2 weeks, so.
Yeah, 2 weeks is the marker for we have to turn in a final number that can be no more than 20% what we had.
Okay.
Moving forward, if we tell them in January, hey, we already sold 84 seats, then we can increase it. But I think 80 is a good, safe number that will fill without a problem. And if we feel like we're gonna go above that additional 16, then we can plan for it ahead. If we're coming close, like if we're past that timeline where it's, now it's 2 weeks and we've got it, the most we can get is an additional 16. If we sell out of that, the answer is get your package early next time.
Yeah. And since most people get it early, we'll have a good count anyway.
Right. Yeah.
And who's gonna have the authority to make that call?
That'd be the chair.
Okay, and if that's,
It'd be-
if that
it'd
runs
be
us
at the-
over costs.
It'd be
is
it'd
that-
be a direct, no, because that's baked in, because if they're buying the ticket,
Right.
the ticket covers the.
They're making money on the dinner if they're buying a ticket.
So we won't need to
We
accept bottle without money afterwards.
No, but it would come at the request of the convention committee asking me to authorize, to agree to increase. Okay. Any other questions? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I'm gonna state the motion that was moved to authorize a budget of $17,000 for the 2022 Libertarian Party of Indiana State Convention to be held on March 4th and 6th and 7th. 4th, 5th, and 6th.
There you go.
March 4th, 5th, and 6th. And that the chair is authorized to execute contracts on behalf of the party for said convention. Okay, it was moved and seconded. This will need to be a roll call vote. I'm going to go in reverse. I'm going to start with District 9 and go up. Okay.
Oh, yes.
Aye.
That was Greg Hirsch voted yes. Jay Solomon voted yes. Mr. Williams? Aye. Mr. Lomax?
Aye.
Mr. Nolan?
Aye.
Mr. Beatty?
Aye.
Miss Avery?
Aye.
Ms. Kokolar?
Aye.
Mr. Paul?
Aye.
Mr. Hagerman?
Aye.
Mr. Rigg?
Aye.
Ms. Britton?
Yes. Aye.
Mr. Schulteis?
Aye.
Ceremonious.
I do not recognize that voice.
Robot
That sounded
voice.
like a robot, a cyborg.
It's I'm driving and
That's his proxy vote. It's a robot.
The bylaws do not.
I'm swerving off the road to answer the phone.
There we go. The rumble.
And the chair votes aye. So the motion passes. So we officially have our convention scheduled. I will say this, there was a secondary contract that was sent by the forum because we asked the convention committee to produce multiple years. and we had the exact same contract for the forum for 2023 for
The same weekend and
the same
cost.
first Saturday, and everything is exactly the same. That is just the forum. That does not, because you can't do the legwork on the hotel and the catering until closer to the time.
Yeah, the hotel will not entertain it until within
And
12
what will we
months.
need to pay for the 2023 to keep it locked in? or
$500 deposit.
What's that?
We'll need to give form a $500 deposit for 2023 and 2022.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll do them both together?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh, Is there anybody that would object to that? So opening up a discussion for going ahead and locking in the contract for 2023 at the forum for the first weekend of March. Mr. Nolan?
So that'll be the 4th, 5th, and 6th of March.
Yes.
All right, I'm good.
I would accept that motion. All it needs to be is to execute the contract for the 23 convention.
I move to authorize the chair to execute the contract for the 23 convention as presented. You did present it, correct?
Yes.
Second.
As presented.
Okay. I'm going to do it again, going in the same order.
Move for a vote for acclamation.
How about without, well, it's a pretty big expense, Mr. Nolan.
I know. But everybody's going to approve it.
Do the vote. I vote yes.
Unless anybody's got an objection, I vote, I will withdraw my motion if anybody has an objection.
Mr. Hirsch objected, so we're gonna do the roll call vote. Mr. Hirsch?
Yes.
Withdraw my motion.
Mr. Solomon?
Yes.
Mr. Williams? Yes. Mr. Lomax?
Yes.
Mr. Nolan?
Yes.
Mr. Beatty?
Yes.
Miss Avery?
Yes.
Ms. Kokolar?
Yes.
Mr. Poland?
Aye.
Mr. Hagerman?
Yes.
Mr. Rigg? Aye. Ms. Britton?
Yes.
Mr. Schultheis?
Aye.
The chair? Aye.
No, okay.
Thank you. Just because.
What matters?
Okay, so we now have both convention dates set. We have the location for both. We have all of the authorizations for the 2022 convention and the budget set, and we will take the 2023 convention up probably immediately following the 22 convention to finalize all of that, because we should actually have everything by then, because they said February, March, we could start doing the room blocks and the catering for 2023.
For clarity, for the 2023 convention dates, we're looking at 3, 4, and 5.
Yes, it's whatever the Saturday is. So the Saturday is the 4th.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's 3, 4, 5.
Did you guys hear that on the Zoom? 2023 is gonna be March 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
Move all the dates to the left one, please.
Okay, are there any other questions about the convention? Okay, hearing none, we will go on to the next item of business, unfinished business, the HR policy. I'm giving Mr. Cullen 2 minutes. Can you give us an update on the HR policy, where it stands, what it is? You have 2 minutes, go.
Okay, so here's where we are. So I spoke to my person that's an HR representative. Because of the political nature of what we're doing, she felt uncomfortable, but she did recommend a couple of basically consultants. So what I would like to do, Evan, and I don't know if you want to be involved in this or if you want me to get back to you on it, I would like to reach out to the consultants, get a price, basically get a, get an idea of what it would cost based on the scope of our project, and then bring it back to my committee. And then we bring it to the full committee and say, here's what it would cost to have a consultant do this for us, or at least approve it. And then we kind of go from there. So I don't know how, Evan, if you want to be involved in those calls, or if you want me to just get back to you with a price, or how we want to do that.
I would like for you to keep as many things off of my plate as possible.
That's what I thought you'd say. So,
Yeah.
right. My plan was to get as much done as I could and then just present it. I'll bring my committee in on it, and then maybe in the next 2 weeks, we'll discuss kind of what the consultants, I think I have 3 different names for consultants here in Indiana. I'll get some prices and some, find out what they offer. And then I'll bring that to my committee and we can talk about that. And then I'll have something to present for the next meeting.
Thank you. If you do need me, do feel free to bring me in. That's perfectly fine. I'm available, but just please don't if you don't need me. Mr.
No,
Miller.
I want to make sure if you want to be involved in the process, or even if like I said, I mean, if anything, maybe I'll have my committee involved in a follow-up call. I basically want to call these people, find out what their deal is, get some prices, and maybe my committee will get together and we can do a follow-up meeting with them or something like that.
Mr. Nolan.
I was thinking that we were going to go more of an attorney route as opposed to a consultant route.
Well, I think that's what I want to find out. I think these people are kind of both, and that's what I want to find out about.
Okay.
I don't know if they're HR and law or how that works, and that's why this person said, based on what you were asking me, it would be best to call these people. And obviously, I'm looking for kind of free consultations. I think they're lawyers as well as HR consultants, but we'll talk to them and find out.
Okay, that's time. Thank you, guys. Next item, Judicial Committee. I'm going to blow through this really quickly. We did some great work at our last meeting, amending the bylaws amendment for Judicial Committee. I had said that I would send that out for an email ballot. I decided my prerogative to not do that and to instead pull my amendment from consideration from the body and to instead put it forward to the. Sorry. That's one demerit.
First meeting.
The first meeting, you're just already screwing it up. Instead, I think that this is a pretty important thing, and while we've done good work to flush it out, it is a pretty big expansion of authority for one created board to have. So I'm instead going to take the work product that we did and submit it as a request from the chair to the bylaws committee to be presented to the delegates at the state convention.
Will you be presenting it as amended at our last meeting?
Yes. Yes, I took all of
as we were going to vote to amend it.
Yes, I took all of the changes that were suggested and incorporated that, and will be sending it to the bylaws committee, who will also take a look at it and make suggestions on changes, and then present it to the order of presentation of bylaws amendments for approval for the state central committee for the state convention. Makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're gonna shoot it to them, they're gonna look it over, shoot it back to us, and then when we approve it, it goes to the delegates.
We don't approve it, we approve the order. All bylaws amendments that are submitted go to the convention. It's the order of what they're presented, the order of priority. Mr. Nolan.
We are going to make sure that ahead of the convention, the county chair and appropriate district people have copies of what is going to be presented at the convention.
Yes.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions about the Judicial Committee? Okay, there are none. We'll move on. Moving on to new business. The top of that for 10 minutes was candidates of the future. Mr. Nolan, you have the floor.
Thank you, everyone. A little bit of a history lesson. Ball State, in conjunction with the Bowen Center, which Governor Bowen was governor of Indiana for 8 years, and he saw a need to help educate people to get into and understand the political process, and started a foundation in cooperations with Ball State University to do that. I have been in the chairman of that foundation that puts this event on every year. Actually is a libertarian. He actually ran for a state office in Missouri, I believe. And so he has every year tried to pull in a libertarian into the discussions Most years, they just only want one panelist, and I've gone and represented. This year, they want to panel 5 panels, which is a lot more than I can handle by myself. And some of them are on women in running for office, which I'm woefully unprepared to be able to represent. And so I'm asking help, see if it will take, 4 or 5 people maybe to help with this. And I want to see if we want to spend the resources on it. It is on November 13th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. The panels last about an hour for each one of them. And I will go through the 4 or 5 panels that we need. They want people with experience running campaigns. I've not run a full campaign. Would like to maybe have somebody that does that. They're wanting to engage with the local party, and they would like chairmen from Delaware County or nearby counties. So I'll need a county chair from somewhere near Delaware County. Obviously, Delaware is not organized currently, so we'll have to search somebody out there. They are having, let's see here. They are having a committee. Let's see, here was people that are interested in serving on boards and commissions, presidential and representatives from. So they're wanting advocacy groups. So they've got people, Democrats Women's Club, Delaware Citizens for Good Government, Republican Women's Club. I told them there, I think there's a Youth for Liberty that maybe somebody could pull somebody in to be on that panel. The other one is Women in Politics. Would like to have a lady for that. And the last one is engaging in campaigns, which I think I can handle. I've got that one. So do we want to man this? Can I get volunteers for people for some of this, or is this something we want to pass on?
Mr. Nolan, I will commit right now to helping you find the appropriate people to sit on these panels. Now, do we just need one person per panel, or do we need multiple people?
Just one person per panel.
We can do it. We'll make it happen.
Okay.
I'll work with you to get those, especially. We've got Susan Bell, who is a female office holder, who is one of the longest running libertarian office holders. And she's great.
She is.
So I'm sure we can, bribe her into doing it.
Rex and Tom out in Wayne County would probably be interested in doing something like that too, and they're relatively close to Delaware.
And yeah, with Delaware County, you said it doesn't have to be Delaware County, it can be near Delaware, right?
Right.
I would ask Jeremiah Morrell from Henry County to be there for the county chairs. He's a great speaker. He's young-ish. He's got a podcast, so that makes him real young.
Yeah. He wants a race car. He's got a podcast and wants a race car.
Yeah. Women in Politics, you've got Lucy right here.
But that's the 13th will be in Wayne County for District 1 and
Oh,
2.
wait, crap. Okay, so it won't be me or Lucy there.
Tanya, what are you doing on the 13th?
Tanya Millis, who's also on the call now. It's a little bit far for her.
True.
Lawrence, all the way up to there, but she's a great speaker. She'll be running for office at that time. Is that okay?
Running for office, or would she like to do the women's? You wanted Bell?
Yeah. Wasn't there a female office holder and then a female in politics?
No, running
Okay.
for office and women in political leadership. And engaging with campaigns, I'll do that one. And we need an advocacy group. I suppose even Rutherford could even talk about one of the PACs, something like, or one of the PACs could speak, maybe Don or somebody. group.
Well, I mean, is it political advocacy or social impact advocacy?
Can be both. Examples that they gave was Muncie Resists, Democrat Women's Club, Republicans Women Club. I think that's who's going to be doing it. It's a lady from the Republicans and Democrats Women's Club.
Why don't we see about Don Rainwater for that, for Liberty is Essential?
Do we know anybody at Choice?
Oh, he's got it packed, doesn't he?
They're not with us.
Yes.
No.
No.
Yeah, Liberty is Essential.
Yeah, is there, do we have somebody that knows some people in Youth for Liberty that might want to come and speak for us?
They're dead in my area.
It doesn't have to be YL. He's saying just young people for liberty.
There's gotta be.
How young?
It's just,
In Ball State.
I know the Youth for Liberty organization. I didn't know whether there's somebody that could speak to Youth for Liberty as an organization, because they're looking for representatives from issue advocacy groups.
Is it Rosalind?
She's not.
What about Chris Gold? Would he be able to help?
I mean, is he young?
Yes.
Well, it doesn't have,
That's involved with SFL,
it's
right?
just issue advocacy. It doesn't have, I was using that as an example.
Yeah, I know Chris Galt in Morgan County has run campaigns before. He is currently running a campaign and is a political director. And he's also relatively young and has been a member of YAL before. So he may be a good person to reach out to. If you need his contact info.
I do.
6.
So he might be on 2 levels then maybe.
His email address is political@morganlpin.org.
He might be a little butthurt today.
Political what?
Political@morgan.lpin?
No.
No.
morganlpin.org.
Okay, political@morgan.lpin.
LPIN.
No dot.
.org.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, okay, I think I've got some place to start.
I'm sorry, Mr. Nolan, I missed the date on that.
November 13th.
November 13th from 9 to 4. But I mean, the panelists wouldn't have to be there through the whole thing. There'll be a luncheon and stuff.
Ball State is pretty far up there. Do you know if there's gonna be an online attendance option for that?
I do not believe that there is at this point. I will check.
All right, I appreciate that.
Okay, any other questions for Mr. Nolan? And keep me updated if anything falls through or you need more people, just let me know and we'll put our heads together. Thank you,
Will do.
Mr. Nolan. Next on the agenda item is the storage unit, and I'm going to defer to Michael Schulteis for this for a minute, just to give us an update.
Okay, the LPIN has not had a physical office for several years. We have been renting a portion of Chris Spangel's storage locker on the south side of Indianapolis for $70 a month. Today, Mr. Spangel informed me that he is moving out of his storage facility on Wednesday of this week, and he wanted to know if we wanted to take over the entire storage locker or else move our stuff elsewhere. He believes the storage locker's full price is roughly $170 per month. It is a 10 by 10 climate controlled indoor storage facility, but that would be basically $100 a month increase from what we're currently paying for a portion of that unit. So it's up to the board whether we want to pay for the entire unit or move our stuff elsewhere.
Can we get a smaller unit in the same facility?
Probably not. It's hard to get storage units in Indianapolis right now.
Does it need to be centralized to Indianapolis for storage?
Yes.
So the garage was fixed?
I mean, honestly, I was just in there before the state convention, which was the last time I was there. And we don't have that much stuff in there. I could fit it in a closet. The problem is there's no way I can get over there before Wednesday to get everything out.
Where's it at on the south side? Is it right
It's
there?
near Southport.
Is it 65 in Southport?
Where that Burger King is.
Yeah, where the KFC used to be and they're putting the porn shop in?
Yes.
Yes.
Right there. Oh, wait, hey, no, we should totally stay there.
We totally should. That'd be a
Why
great-
don't we ask the porn shop if they have
all
a
the
closet
gin.
that we can?
I don't know if we want to be in the closet of the porn shop.
Mr. Schultz, I would like to ask a question. Did Chris indicate whether or not there is a period of commitment?
I don't know. I'd have to ask him, but I know my current storage facility, which is not the same company, it's just month to month. But I don't know what his specific facility policies are.
I think so.
Let me look him up, hang on.
I mean, if he's clearing his shit out anyway, can we just ask him if he could drop it off at Evan's place?
He won't. I hate to say.
I
that-
don't have room to store it, but I could pick stuff up and take it somewhere.
I would say give them a month if they'll take a month, like pay for it for a month and then we'll figure out somewhere to put the small amount of stuff that we've got.
Yeah, if you can confirm if we can have it for a month. Ask Chris if we pay the full bill for the next month, if we can keep it for a month and find out if we can cancel it after that. We can't just find out on Saturday that on Wednesday we have to be out of our storage unit. That's just, I mean, it's not Chris's fault. I mean, it is, but
He knew he was leaving.
he didn't just decide this yesterday.
Do we know how much we have in there? I mean, obviously Chris has got stuff in there, so we're not taking up the full 10 by 10.
Oh, we're not even close to that. I mean, it's maybe less than this table's length of stuff. It's not much at all. The problem is it is fairly important stuff.
Okay.
And I can't get over there to get it out before Wednesday.
Okay. Can anybody get over there and deliver? I can store whatever.
This upcoming week, but I drive a Prius. Is there enough room in a Prius?
I mean,
for that
I've
shit?
got
It's a
my
couple of
pickup
filing
truck.
cabinets,
I've got my
too.
pickup truck right now, so
Yeah.
How is your time between now and Tuesday?
Honestly, no, but here's the thing.
I'm not really off.
You're not gonna know what stuff is ours and what stuff is
Exactly.
Chris's.
Exactly, so I would need somebody else.
I
Well, what if
do.
Chris already has his stuff out of the unit? When is Chris taking his stuff out of the unit?
Michael, yeah, when's he leaving?
He's leaving on Wednesday and he would prefer that it's decided who's paying, if anyone's paying, by the 1st of October. So that's when the bills due, which is Friday, I believe.
Okay, so it does do month to month then.
I don't know what his term is, but
Yeah.
he doesn't pay.
If he's saying we have to be out by Wednesday, or or somebody pays the next month's rent, that means it's month to month. Miss
Yeah.
Avery,
Yeah, I think we definitely need to find out if our stuff has to be out by Wednesday or if he's just moving his stuff out by Wednesday. And if we can still access it until whatever the end of the rental period is.
October 1st.
he said it was October 1st. Michael did.
So I imagine it would have to be Wednesday or Thursday.
What if we move to pay 1 month's? so
Yeah,
that
and that
at least
gives
buys
us a
us
month.
until the next meeting.
Right. I'm going, if the body will indulge, I'm going to recognize Miss Millis for a question. Miss Millis? Goodbye.
Eliminating.
I wonder if that was even Tanya. Did she mention to you that she was coming on the live stream?
No, she did say that after the parade, she's gonna come to this cookout.
I don't think that was her. So we have somebody every now and then who logs on to our Zoom meetings with the names of people. If you guys remember at the last meeting we had at the Antelope Club, Tim McGuire logged on and I gave him crap and then I asked him a question. It wasn't Tim.
Once you have a camera on, you have to have your camera.
We're on YouTube.
Okay, so from now on, you have to have the camera on.
I mean, I don't care. It
Or
just,
to
it
see
messes
the
up our
person
thing
in
because we
attendance.
put in the minutes that Tim McGuire was attending the meeting
Right.
briefly. But it wasn't him. So,
Thank
and there's
you.
Doran. Hi, Doran.
Okay, turn the camera back on.
Hey, Doran breaks it.
Good thing we're recording.
I know it's something they're doing the parade today, but I don't know how long that was last.
I'm on the extra space storage site trying to see if we can do month to month.
I'm gonna make a motion.
Yes.
Hey,
You might have a solution.
he doesn't know it's ours either.
Evan,
Yes.
Tanya has come back into the room.
Hey, Tanya.
Then she left again when recognized. Give
The
it out.
parade is at 2 o'clock, so I doubt that's actually Tanya.
Yeah, I don't think it is.
Oh, weird. Yeah,
Okay.
from now on, visual confirmation,
Is
even
your-
if you turn it off.
Is
later.
your inability to pick it up due to not having a vehicle to do it or not having time?
Both.
Okay, who would know?
Chris Spangle.
So somebody could be there
When
he's
he moves
there.
out, load our
then-
shit up, he loads his shit up and
Well,
we
if
drive
he's
off.
leaving
on Sunset.
Wednesday.
But do we have a
he
place to
does.
put it?
Right, you can use,
Full of crap.
you could use my house if Chris or somebody could get it up here to me.
I've got a storage barn right down the street. I don't have a lot of room, but I have enough room to fit the stuff the size of this table in
It's
my
paperwork though,
barn.
so would humidity be important?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of old records and documents.
So
and
climate control.
Yeah, that's why it's in the climate control. It's because it's like original records and documents and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Let's just do the $170.
For 1 month,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm
$170.
gonna make a motion, move to authorize $170 to pay for 1 month of the storage unit while we find other alternatives or investigate other alternatives.
Second.
So moved.
Is there any objection? Then I'm just gonna say, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right.
All those opposed say nay.
Nay.
One a-hole.
Contrary. It's not.
We'll make it two.
We feel like this is not that difficult of an issue to solve.
We'll make it two.
Could save.
I'll vote nay.
I'm outvoted, I'm outvoted.
I'd rather donate $170 to the party to cover it than have to worry about if it doesn't get taken care of by Wednesday, then some of our original founding documents might get thrown out by the storage company. Or somebody not
So the
knowing.
vote's closed though.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need unanimity, it's not a natural requirement of this board.
Okay, moving on to the next subject, Ms. Avery.
If by some chance we're not able to go month to month, I would volunteer to drive down to pick them up if need be. If I could drop them off somewhere else, or I'll just hang on to them in my car or something until we find a place.
Okay.
I have 2 minivans, so Christy doesn't need to drive for 4. I don't
Okay,
have.
let's figure it out via email. We've
You
got a
want-
couple days.
If you can pick them up Wednesday or Thursday, whatever, and give them to my house, and we got a place, we got a plan.
Okay, so here's the idea. Michael Schulteis, you need to come pick up the key from me. I'll give you the key. You go to the storage unit, pick up all of our crap, take it to Greg Nolan. Greg Nolan will store it until such time as we get an official state party headquarters. Congratulations, Mr. Nolan.
Perpetuity.
Well, it's all in case all that falls through.
Okay.
If that falls apart, then we've got the backup. Okay, moving on to the next item. Jackson County. I've been talking to Mr. Hacker in Jackson County. He is very keen on reaffiliating Jackson County.
Yes, he messaged, and I talked to him as well.
Yep. He's messaged me multiple times. He's messaged you. He's messaged Don Rainwater. He's messaged, I think, Tim McGuire. He's messaged a bunch of people wanting to get Jackson County reaffiliated. He is a member in good standing. Jackson is in your district?
Yes,
Yeah, it's in the 8th district.
and it's gonna remain in nine.
Mhm.
It's gonna remain in the
Nine,
ninth district,
whatever.
as long as these
It's all the
maps
same.
hold up.
So I would like to appoint Mr. Josh Hacker as the temporary chair for Jackson County.
So moved.
Second. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those
Aye.
opposed say nay.
No one has something to say.
The motion carried. Did you have a question, Mr. Nolan?
No.
Okay, okay. I will say this, he's actually already scheduled the organizing convention. And I have to talk to him about that because technically he,
Has not given enough notice.
yeah. Because he wasn't officially, so like
So you can't do it, whatever it is. you can't.
we're gonna work on it. There's only a couple of people there, so
When
we're
is
gonna
the
ask
date
them to
for it,
waive
you
the
know?
notice.
Okay.
It's sometime in October. It's like October 18th.
Is
Okay,
it in order for the members of the LPIN in that county to waive that?
Yes,
Okay.
they can waive notice. Moving on to Marion County, I would
Monroe.
request,
Monroe.
or Marion.
I think it's really interesting. There's a billion areas.
I just want their bank account. It all comes to us when they're gone, right? I move to remove Falcon Brenton as the Monroe County temporary chair.
Second.
He's unable to do it because of school, and there are other people who are interested and would like to officially take over.
Is there an appointment to replace?
No,
So moved.
when will there be an appointment to replace it?
our next meeting.
Okay.
Or actually, probably in between now and our next meeting.
Okay. I wanna get them
Brenton,
affiliated.
it's my son.
Oh.
He got too busy with school. It's his senior year.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Okay, Falcon is removed. Just want to talk real quickly about the gaming. How much time did I put on this? 10 minutes?
10 minutes.
Gaming, we had some issues. I'm not going to say what counties or what district, but we had some issues, and it wasn't necessarily completely their fault. We don't have a structural process in place for allowing counties or districts to use our gaming license. And there are some reporting requirements. There are some things that we thought were reporting requirements that weren't necessary. There's a lot of headache and frustration that goes into dealing with this both before and after, and we have to keep running totals as the holder of the gaming license and keep that updated on each application we apply for. I would like for us to systematize the process of using our gaming license outside of the direct state party. So using it for a county party or a district party, that we have a system in place that documentation has to be provided ahead of time, but also to charge a fee for the usage of it. There's time involved in it. I can tell you that the people who were involved in it were not opposed to future gaming license usage imposing a fee. We had talked about making it a percentage. However, that would be unlawful, so we can't do that. So instead, we will do a fee.
Flat fee.
A flat fee. That will depend on what type of gaming license it is. If it's a raffle, if it's a poker tournament, what it is, we'll charge a flat fee for the state to manage that, for the state party to manage that on behalf of the county party or the district party. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
I'm just talking about it right now. I'd like for you guys to think about it. I'm not prepared to put a motion forward at this point.
Yeah, are the differences in fees related to the amount of work involved or amount of money? Okay, so it's amount of work involved.
A little bit of both.
Okay.
Can I clarify on system on this?
Sure.
So are you proposing having an actual like operation manual of, hey, if you want to use our license, here are the stipulations and here are the steps that you need to make sure that you're following?
Yep, in an agreement that's signed either digitally or in some way, shape, or form that says X will be done.
And who specifically will be crafting this manual?
Okay. Or you.
No, I'm
Or
just saying.
Michael Schulteis or somebody else.
Danny,
With the
Danny.
it's actually, I was gonna say with the input of Danny Bundy.
Yeah.
But it'll be.
Because Danny has his
based
own.
off of what,
Yeah, just go out there and maybe somebody else can take something off.
I'm gonna make sure it gets done. Because I've had other counties asking to use the gaming license, and at this point, my answer is no. For anybody who asks at this point, which sucks, because we've got it and they can use it, but no. But it needs to be, the process needs to be coordinated with both Danny, his expertise with the gaming events, Michael with his expertise in handling money, and then my expertise of looking to see where the state is going to screw us. Okay. Yes.
So the flat fee, is that pertaining just to the amount of work that needs to be put in for it? Is it going to be, is it gonna be the same fee for anybody?
Yep.
And regardless of how little or how much that they intend to make on?
Yep.
Okay,
So go big.
go big or go home.
Yep. Mr. Egerman.
Is there any requirement for these counties to use the state's gambling license?
They can get their own.
Because, there's a free license that we used when I was in Knights of Columbus. It's based on how much you give away.
That's only available for certain types of organizations, and we can't get that.
We can't get that one, okay,
No.
all right. Because what was nice is it didn't have any of the reporting requirements.
Yeah. Anybody else? Oh, wait, actually, no, I know I've misunderstood what you were talking about. You're talking about the exempt
Right, if you weren't giving away very much money or prizes.
It's now it's less than 7,000. So, well, we have a regular charity gaming license, but then we have exempt events. These were actually exempt events, but they've been both by the state party and by the local people involved. It's just been a mishmash of no one knowing what they're doing and nobody watching the other person, nobody keeping up on it. And so there's not been a process of your event is tomorrow. Here's the data we need before tomorrow. Here's what we need the day of. Here's what we need the day after, and none of that's been happening. Then that's not just their fault, that's our fault too. But yeah, it's those events. And there is less reporting, but there's still reporting. We have to account for it in our systems because it's technically coming to the state party. So, and that's not been done. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. I might draft you to help work on it too. Congratulations.
I can at least tell you where things go wrong at the bottom, so.
But I can tell you the gaming commission is very helpful.
Sometimes.
Well, when I dealt with them, they've been very helpful.
Sometimes they're really not. But most of the times, actually a few years ago, they actually came and did an entire seminar on how to apply for and how to use a gaming license for candidates and county parties to the state party. It wasn't a convention, it was just, we had a whole separate other thing that was organized. I think it was it Rutherford's PAC that organized it, Mr. Nolan? You're muted. You're still muted. It's still muted.
Can't hear you, Greg.
Can't hear you, Mr. Nolan.
I was thinking it was a training program that Frank put together with a bunch of speakers. Remember that training?
I know Frank did, but because I was one of the speakers, but I was thinking it was funded by Mark's PAC.
Oh, it might have been funded. I don't know who funded it, but
it was a while ago.
They were there and the Secretary of State's office was in there. There was a number of people, and that's the only one I remember of the state.
It was at the hotel over kind of south of town.
Yeah.
Next to Cheddar's. I remember where the food is. Okay, next item up on the agenda is the affiliation request for Randolph County. I can certify, and I double and triple checked. They held their organizing convention. They filled out all their paperwork correctly. They submitted their CFA 3 to the state. Everything is in order. The elected chair there is Katie Thornburg. She will actually, her and her husband will be here at the event later today.
Nice.
So all of their paperwork is in order. So I move to accept the affiliation request of Randolph County.
Second.
There's a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Yay, Randolph County. Second item for Hendricks County. Hendricks County held their their organizing convention August 14th, I think it was. I was there in attendance at that one. James, you were not there. I'm trying to think who else was there. No one else from here was there. Jeff, I mean, you were there. Jeff Moore was there. Huh?
Wasn't that the day of my event?
No. Or wait, no, yes, yours was the 14th. It was like the 12th. It was August 12th because it was the Wednesday. I kept thinking they were at the same time. They weren't. They had a great event, got it reorganized. They have a full slate of officers. The current chair or the elected chair is Chris something or other.
Oh, Chris.
Because it wasn't the person that was the temporary chair, which was Zach.
Lorenzini?
Yes. He's not the chair, but he was the temporary chair. Everybody there was membership, ID checked. And they actually had a really good turnout, as a matter of fact, for an organizing convention that was held like on a Wednesday. It was actually pretty good. But they got all their paperwork in order. They confirmed the CFA 3 with the state. They've submitted all their documents to us and officially requested affiliation. So I move that we accept the affiliation request for Hendricks County.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay.
Question.
Yes.
Is this information updated in cities?
Yes.
Okay.
They're I think they're still listed as organizing now in the city.
Well, I'll change it.
But all the officers.
And I'll
are
push the
correct.
officers to all the places that
Yep.
it needs to go.
Temporary chair change for Owen County. Mr. Solomon, you have 5 minutes.
All right, so at last meeting, we moved to appoint Lacey Newton as a temporary chair of Owen County. She kind of fell out of contact for a while. Her and her daughter came down with hand, foot, mouth or something like that, and I don't understand. But then I was getting messages from members saying that she wasn't really communicating with anybody, listening back to them. I finally got a hold of her. She just had some legal stuff come up, some other health issues come up. She still wants to be involved with the LPIN. Her time constraints don't allow her at this time. So she said that with everything going on in Owen County, they have county tax hikes, mismanagement, that her personal issues should not stop the mission going forward. So she has to step down. And Dustin Combs, who was on the call earlier, I think he's dropped off by now. He stepped forward, said that he'd be willing to pick up the ball where she left it, and then she can come back in, when her situation allows it. So I'd like to make a motion to remove Lacey Newton as 10th chair of Owen County.
Second.
So moved.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
A question.
Oh,
Are you also-
Yes, Mr. Nolan.
Are we also in the motion,
Nope.
Dustin as the temporary chair then?
No, I'm splitting the motion.
He's splitting the motion.
I'm sorry. All right. Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Lacey is removed as temporary chair.
And on the heels of that, I would like to move to appoint Dustin Combs as temporary chair of Owen County.
How do you spell that?
Combs, Combs.
Second.
Dustin in the normal one.
It's been moved and seconded. A question, have you confirmed the status of membership for Mr. Combs?
Yes.
What is his membership status?
Yeah, I believe he's both an LPIN and a national.
Okay, just a regular annual member?
Yes.
Okay.
I thought he was a triple member, but it wasn't like that in the city, so I'm not going to commit to being.
Okay, are there any questions about appointing Mr. Dustin Combs as the temporary chair for Owen County? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Congratulations, Mr. Combs. He is appointed, and you'll communicate with him that he is appointed temporary chair and all of that entails. Comms director. How many people in here got the email about the Green Party Secretary of State candidate switching parties and becoming a Libertarian?
Yeah. No,
Nope.
I'm a fan. That's awesome.
Check your emails.
Yes.
I think I had like 2, didn't I?
You
I
might
don't really
have.
know what to make of it though.
So Michelle Holiday was was the secretary for the Green Party of Indiana. She's good friends with Cynthia McKinney. I'm struggling for that name. Who, while being a Green presidential candidate, was also very supportive of libertarianism and has gone to things like Anarchapulco, Freedom Fest, Pork Fest. She's not with us, but she's very supportive of some of our issues. While being friends with Cynthia McKinney, she learned a little bit more about libertarianism. She did not like some of the things that were happening within the state party of the Green Party. One of those being the state chair at their state convention this year asked her if she would be interested in running for Secretary of State. And she said, well, I'd be interested, I'd consider it. And he immediately stood up and announced that she was their nominee.
Oh.
She didn't like that. So we had multiple conversations about libertarianism, and I gave her the good and the bad. I said, listen, you're coming from the left. Let me tell you about the bad stuff that you're not going to want to like, but why it matters and why it's consistently individual liberty and not groupisms. And she liked it. She enjoyed it. She ended up switching parties. She joined the Libertarian Party as both an annual member and as a 1994 monthly member. I informed her prior to her telling me she was going to switch parties that if she did switch parties, there was absolutely no way on earth that we were going to nominate her for Secretary of State or probably any candidacy because you're way too new and you were coming from another place. Like, that's just not going to happen. And she said, I don't want to be a candidate. I'm mostly interested if you have space and could use my abilities in communications, I would be happy to help in that regard as a volunteer. She actually wrote that announcement about her.
Oh,
cool.
Okay.
And I asked her to do it from the perspective of, because there were 2 that went out. There was one that was from her and one that was from the state party welcoming her.
Okay.
That went out, the one that was welcoming her went out to non-members. And there was a reason for that. And they were great. We got reply emails from them, and the vast majority of them were welcome, congratulations, welcome to the Libertarian Party. A couple of them were, stop emailing me the socialist crap. Why would I care what a failed socialist thinks about liberty? And I'm like, you really don't. Like, somebody just switched. Like, you thank them for seeing light, not criticize them.
Yeah.
However, I've been talking to her a lot. Michelle Holiday is her name. She's got some great ideas for some new media content and reaching more connected people, as well as doing some podcasting for me. But also she's very interested in helping to have my emergency response press releases so that it doesn't all have to fall on me to get these things done within a couple hours of them happening or right before they happen. So with that, I would like to appoint Michelle Holiday as the LPIN Communications Director as a non-voting director. Normally we make directors voting, but since she is so new to the party, this is a chance for her to show her skills, show her interest, learn about our philosophy, learn about our tradition, and then over time, potentially becoming a voting director. Not all directors are required to be voting, have voting rights. It's at the discretion of the SCC. She also will not have access to anything. So the things that she writes and does will be written, sent to me, and then I process them. She won't have access to our database or our press release system or anything like that. For a while, until she proves herself, like, you know, a year or two. I'm gonna, okay.
Has the Green Party removed her picture and title from the website?
It's still there.
That is my one issue with putting her in a position, is that, you know, people looking from the outside would see, you know.
Has she resigned?
She officially resigned. She actually CC'd me on multiple emails, including one of them demanding that they take her photo down.
Yeah.
And they have not done it. They won't, and the interesting thing is they don't update their website.
Yeah.
Honestly though, I had trouble finding the Green website. So anybody who finds it, God bless them. They are dedicated to Chrome.
I would not want to forestall anything that we are doing, waiting for the Green Party of Indiana to get their shit together. We're gonna wait a long time.
I know, but you know, I get nosy and I start going through directors and committees and stuff, and then I go searching and look to see what they're about. So why wouldn't somebody actually looking at the party do so?
Well, I do actually, so one of the things about our directors pages and our district rep pages is I actually want those to link to pages of information about the person,
Yeah.
like how to contact them directly, things like that. I want to put her story on her page.
On her Alpedia page?
And
Yeah.
even have it in there.
Yeah.
It's even better if it's dated, you know, August 2021, and here it is, you know, February of 2024, and they still have her photo up.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that says, I've been asking them for 2 years to
Yeah.
take the shit down.
That's true. So as long as we have something like that, you know, I just want somebody that doesn't know anything about our party to be able to go on their little investigations that people like to do and, you know, come out with the answers that they're looking for.
Because everybody has an Alpedia page that I link to from our wiki page. So when it says, you know, district rep, there's an Alpedia page that goes, it used to just go to leadership, but now it goes to your Alpedia.
Okay.
Now, there may not be anything there, but we can work on that.
So, but she'll be in multiple places as far as Libertarian Party goes, right? As far as LPIN and the actual wiki page, where
Right, she'll be on
for the
the
Green Party, she's
leadership.
just on their page.
Yeah.
Right.
So as long as that pops up first.
Right,
then
exactly. As long as we
everyone-
pop up first, I think that that's fine, and let them know that she has to be Green Party.
Yes.
It's outdated information.
Yep.
It happens a lot.
Mr. Nolan?
I think you've taken proper precautions, and if this is who you'd like for the directors, non-voting, I think we should proceed to a vote.
Okay.
I have one further question.
There's one further question. I'll entertain it.
So we talked about her journey, and her email was very well written. I will grant that. What are her actual communications qualifications? Personally, I find that more important than ideology.
She's a journalist.
Okay.
That works.
Some financial website. So
Okay.
that's also.
So she's a financial
She's a
reporter?
financial reporter.
So she knows how to be technical
Yeah.
and
was actually talking to me about Bitcoin.
it seems like she might
Actually
know how to
explained it
take
in a way that
complex
people like-
concepts and dumb them down for people that don't understand the
Yes.
background of those complex concepts.
I mean, she had a conversation with Evan about that, so, you know, got that going.
I mean, I do know a lot about it.
Well, being too technical, if you don't know how to translate that, that's a detriment.
Mr.
I've
Paul,
been
Mr.
telling
Paulin,
Maybe warning for a long time about this.
No, I just wanted to second, I think that was Mr. Nolan, and just say, I appreciate the approach you're taking to this. I think it's a very, it's a very well thought out, and it's a very good approach. So I wanted to tell you that I appreciate that.
thank you. I'm gonna call the question because it was moved and seconded by someone. It was moved by me. And it was seconded by,
Several people, probably second.
okay, it was seconded by Mr. Hagerman. All those in favor of appointing Michelle Holliday as the Communications Director for the Libertarian Party as a non-voting director?
Aye.
All those in
Aye.
favor? All right, and that passes. Perfect.
One more question, Mr. Chair. Will she be attending the fall kickoff later today?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't remember seeing her name on the list.
Okay.
I'd like to work on her somewhere.
And time.
Thank you. District maps. The reason why I have this on here is mostly not for us to go over them, but for us to understand that whatever the maps are on December 31st are what on January 1st, the new districts become. However, it does not, you are the district rep until the convention. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yep.
So, however, it is incumbent on you as the current district rep to start talking to your districts now, your county chairs now about this is what they're gonna be. This is what they're gonna be. I've already started the process of calculating the population things for split counties.
Yeah.
Because our bylaws say that the most populous portion of the district become that whole county falls into that district. I've already started doing that. I will give you guys updates. I do want to wait until they do finalize the congressional maps fully because they have made some tweaks to them. So once they do that, we'll finalize them. Marion County, obviously, everybody in Marion County is considered the 7th district. That doesn't change.
It changes.
What?
I had part of Marion County.
Right, but it's still all of Marion County is now in the 7th district. It stays in the 7th district as far as the LPIN is concerned in our districts.
Right.
You'll also want to start prepping your county chairs for holding their district meeting to elect, either re-elect you, throw you out, elect somebody else, whatever the case may be. But those need to be done prior to the state convention, because during the business meeting, we will ask who was elected. And if there is not someone elected, it's my discretion to fill that seat. And you might get stuck with another Luke Lomax.
We'll need to find out,
Mr. Hirsch.
we'll need to find out in our new districts, which those new counties are getting our affiliated division.
Yes, yeah.
So if, according to this, the congressional district for my county is gonna go from 6 to 8. Will I continue to do?
That is the wrong map.
That's the wrong map.
That is our map.
Look at the proposed one on the page before.
Ah, this one. Okay, good.
Our map looks cleaner and nicer.
Our
I
map
like
is
it.
awesome and real easy.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And I have less county.
I was gonna say, because I didn't know if I was gonna be taking over like District 8. Because, you know, technically that was changing to District 8 and then District 6 was becoming, so, yeah, okay. This is
Yeah, and our maps were written with
live in
no
Hancock?
consideration for
Yeah.
any current districts.
You wanna come out to 8, like I'm leaving.
Nope, I'm staying right here.
It's a lot of fun.
Does everybody understand what I was saying, the district reps? You guys get it?
Yeah.
Okay, we will not change that on the website until right before the convention. That is the process that we put in place, that when the right before the convention, we will update all of the districts so that they show up differently on the maps, but also different reps. So your membership information will change. So when you log in and try to search for your members, it will shift because right before the convention, it will start showing the new updated maps as of December 31st.
In city?
Yes.
Are there any?
Hold on, Mr. Nolan.
So until the state convention, like for
Just prior
example,
to, it will probably be 2 weeks before.
but the change takes effect in January.
Yeah.
So,
Officially.
so in that time period, like my city account will not have access to Warren Crawford.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Because it's still technically until our convention, while it changes January 1st, you're the district rep over that same area you had until the convention.
Okay.
It's only 2 months.
Right, it's a 2 month lag, unfortunately, but that's what it is. Mr. Nolan.
The question I have is, did they, in the rezoning, did we end up with 2 reps in the same district now, or is everybody safely within their district currently? Do you know whether?
You mean actual like House members?
No, I think it's us.
Did any districts ever get displaced?
I don't think
Still, I'm still in the 5th, but there might be people that got zoned out of there. Somebody might have been in the 6th and they're now not in the 6th.
Yes, Delaware is one of those.
No, but that doesn't affect you. He's saying an actual district rep getting pushed out of their district.
Like if Cassie were the district rep for District 3, like she would have been pushed out of her district.
Yes.
I'm mine. I checked mine. I didn't know whether.
Putnam. Mr. Beatty, Dennis, you're in Putnam, right? Dennis, you're muted.
I am, yes.
Okay, so yeah, he stays in his district, in the 4th district.
And Greg, you're safe?
Yes.
Okay, then we're all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I assume Mr. Collin is in Lake, right?
Because you're in Hancock.
Mhm.
Yeah, Mr.
Yeah.
Collins in Lake.
Yeah, we're all safe.
Yeah, everybody's safe. Thank you, Mr. Nolan. I hadn't thought about that.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions about the district maps? Nope, okay. We are going to go into executive session for 30 minutes. I'm gonna ask everybody that's here that is not a board member to please go outside. Most people at home.
Could I go back for one question?
Sure.
We redid a temporary chair in Johnson County earlier.
Jackson.
My question is that it seems like we're not going to start a new affiliate there. Are there?
Yes, we are. They were disaffiliated.
Huh?
They were disaffiliated.
I'm sorry. I thought you were going to ease that one back in to life again.
That was Hancock.
Okay. So in Hancock County, have all the forms been filled in such that there are not penalties that the county has assessed that we have to pay if we want to continue?
They've never filed.
Oh, they never filed to begin with?
Yes.
Okay. So they didn't even know that they were there.
Oh, they knew. They just, Phil Miller decided not to ever raise or spend any money.
He actively avoided having to file.
You still have to file whether you raise or spend
Yeah,
money.
so I tried to explain that to him, but then when I actually called the county clerk's office and asked them, and they said he's never filed. He only filed the organizational, the CFA 3.
Right.
And they also felt that since he wasn't raising or spending any money, that, hold on, people. He also they also felt that he was, did not need to file.
Okay,
So
so
they-
the there's no penalties that they're assessing against us. Very good, thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to pause the live stream and pause the recording. For those people who may be watching on YouTube, we will be back when we are finished with executive session.
Probably just